All right, welcome to a very special Table Read Tuesday where we're reading um, contest winners. And these contest winners happen to all be regulars of Table Read Tuesday. And so we're super happy and excited for that. And we have a large group today and we appreciate everyone being here. And one of our readers and actors today here is Marven Likness, who was the winner of our last contest. And so you can watch that on our YouTube channel, like and subscribe. And there's also an interview with him to learn more about it. So today we have 3 scripts we're going to try and read as long as there's time. 2 pilot episodes and 1 short film. We're first going to do a pilot and then have an intermission, then short, then pilot. And then we're going to talk about all of them and give our feedback on them and just what we taken from it or what questions we still have. So to do that, we're going to first go around and introduce everybody and then we'll get started. So Angelina Peterson.
Hi, I'm Angelina Peterson. I'm going to be doing mostly action today. And Tina and a mother, because I'm always the mother. And my own I have to listen to. So I got mushrooms for mine. And it's actually like a pilot as well. It's more of a web series pilot though. So.
And on that note, we're going to make sure the writers of some of the scripts are muted for those watching while their script is being read and talked about. And next we have Jason Steele.
Hey, I'm Jason Steele. Yeah, I'm excited. I missed out when we did Marven's script. I listened back later on, so I hope that other people who miss out today are listening back later on and catching some great stuff. I always love reading new scripts. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this.
Awesome. And Heatherly Cameron.
Hello, my name is Heatherly Cameron. I'm an actor, a writer, and a creator from Southern Alberta. I'll be playing Daphne in Post House and Patient's wife in EMT1 and Evo. I'm glad to be here today.
Sweet. Mr. Clint Munroe.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Clint Munroe coming at you live and in person. I am going to be reading, I think I'm Mike and a couple other characters. I'm going to be Andy in the last episode. But anyways, yeah, that's me in a nutshell, and see you soon.
And we love our regulars and everybody here, but this time we also have a new face, a new actor and reader, Dee. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Dee. I'm an actor and sometimes I dabble in writing, but I'm very excited to be here today for the first time. Yay!
So happy to have you here. And Vicki Dykes.
Hello, I'm Vicki Dykes. I'm going to be reading a few small parts tonight. My voice isn't what it should be. Teddy Smythe, Betty Filbert, and 4 different nurses: reception nurse, nurse Karen, and operating nurse. You'll see the difference.
Thank you, Vicki. And Marven Likness.
Nice to meet you all. Thank you very much for reading my script earlier this year, and I had fun reading with you on a previous one. And I'm looking forward to tonight's reading. I'm an actor. I'm a writer. I'm a drone pilot. Pretty much anywhere I can help out in film, I do. I'll be reading Dwayne in Post House, and I'll be reading Mark, Sam, and Principal Kayak in Evo.
Awesome. Thank you. And Morgan Toll.
Hi, I'm Morgan Toll. I'll be playing a few different characters and happy to be here again. I can't wait.
Awesome. And last of this wonderful group, but definitely never least, we have Jerome St Jerome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jerome St Jerome, and I'll be reading Rolf in Post House and Nathan and Patient in EVO. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And with that, if Angelina wants to share her screen. we will get started on our first script, The Pilot by Don Lampasone, and I don't have it up. It was written with other people as well. And Angelina will read that and she'll tell us who, and we'll get started.
I am muted, so.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. All right, so we are reading Post House, Pilot by Gary Potterfield and Don Lampasone. Post House, the sitcom. Interior synagogue reception hall night. The head of a tripod is in the foreground, and then a hand holding some papers, then a director's viewfinder strapped around the neck. Richard Post, middle-aged owner of Post House Productions, is wearing all the stereotypical director's garb, including the obligatory ball cap with the name of a Navy ship on it. He takes a look through the viewfinder, moves around and takes a look from a different angle. A cell phone rings. Richard clicks a small button on his chest and begins to converse without taking his eye from the viewfinder.
Talk to me. Yeah, this is Dick Post.
He lets go of the viewfinder and listens intently.
Hold on, cut.
He looks up. A conga line passes in front of him. The conga line stops for a moment. Some people shrug. Then the line starts moving again.
Take 5, everybody.
No one is listening to him. He goes back to his phone conversation.
I'm in the middle of principal photography right now. Oh, really?
The camera and tripod are with Richard. As the conversation progresses, the camera attached to the tripod begins to slowly tilt down.
Sure, I'm interested, but I want to direct this one.
Margaret Flagen, a gaudily overdressed woman, approaches Richard. She notices the tripod tilting on its own. She taps him.
Excuse me.
Richard holds up his hand to indicate just a minute to Margaret. She gets unnerved about the tripod and fixes it.
Look, I gotta go. Call my office tomorrow. Maybe we can do some best.
Hey, video boy, I'm talking to you.
She rips the earpiece from Richard's ear.
I don't pay you to talk on the phone.
Richard quickly puts the earpiece back in his ear, to no avail.
Miss Flagen, I don't think you understand my angle. I'm directing here.
I understand you better get Junior doing his dance routine on film. We spent $1,500 for dance lessons. Now get over there. They're about to do the electric slide.
A mix of well-dressed teenage boys and girls and older people are on the dance floor doing the high voltage shuffle. Richard picks up the camera and tripod and walks toward the dance floor. Cut to show open. Spot break, interior synagogue reception hall night. A poorly lit bar mitzvah reception. Scan lines indicate we're looking at a TV screen. We see typical home video quality shots. A dorky boy, Ira Flagen, butchers a dance move. And as the camera zooms in on the boy, the image slowly goes out of focus.
Come on, focus.
The zoom ends. The camera focuses.
Finally.
The party continues. The boy picks his nose.
What a piece of...
The telephone rings. We hear it being picked up.
Hello, Margaret. Oh, it's terrific. I spent 50 G's on your son's bar mitzvah and I'm looking at...
The camera slowly tilts down. Ira adjusts his crotch area. The camera continues to tilt, finally resting on Ira's feet in an upper corner of the frame.
Let's see, his crotch. No, wait a minute. Now it's his feet. How bad is it? Well, you can tell he's Jewish.
Interior FCA boardroom day. Walter Flagen is looking at the television. He's holding a telephone to his ear.
You can tell.
He picks up a DVD case and reads from it. We see Richard's picture on the back. Dieter Kack, the young intern, enters the boardroom office holding a coffee. He silently indicates others are waiting. Flagen notices, then ignores him. The camera will remain on Flagen, but as Flagen continues to talk, we'll see the following take place. Dieter leaves the boardroom, leaving the door ajar. Someone asks Dieter something. Dieter looks at his watch, using the same hand, holding a cup of coffee. Dieter spills coffee on himself.
Mr. Richard Post. He isn't getting one thin dime from Walt Flagen.
He slams the phone down, then opens up a container and takes out a pill. He takes a drink of water, closes his eyes, grimaces, then smiles.
Nothing is going to ruin this day.
He looks up at Dieter.
Send them in.
Exterior K Street Building day. The streets are busy. The building is still. A sign on the building says the K Street Building. Interior Post House Editing Suite day. Richard stands in a hopelessly cluttered closet of an editing room. Mike Custer, Post House's only competent editor, sits in front of the editing system. The focus stays on Mike and his reactions during the conversation. Richard picks up an old-style telephone and dials the number. Mute.
Hello, Miss Flagen. Dick Post. How about that?
We hear an indistinguishable scream through the telephone. Richard clears his throat.
This may not be the best time, but
He was cut off by more screaming.
wondering if you got around to
Gets cut off again.
mailing my check.
More indistinguishable screams, followed by a dial tone.
Another satisfied customer.
Exterior FCA building day. From a group of passers-by, the camera tilts up to a very large office building. Interior FCA boardroom day. Flagen stands at the head of the conference table. Behind him, we see the sign for Flagen, CAC, and Ace. Around the table are several business people, including Rolf CAC, a dark, silent man who's also Dieter's father, Virginia Ace, an attractive businesswoman, and Dieter.
Gentlemen, this is it.
He holds up a binder.
The accumulation of years of blood, sweat, and tears. The largest advertising campaign in history of the metro area.
Everyone breaks into applause.
You can all buy your new Ferraris tonight, but right now we have some advertising to do.
After an awkward pause, everyone laughs at Flagen's lame joke. Interior, Post House camera, tech room day. Richard stands at the head of the beat-up table. Behind him, we see a laminated sign that reads Post House Productions, feature films, weddings, bar mitzvahs, any occasion. Around the table are a collection of Post House misfits. Daphne, Damin, an intense butch producer. Merle Early, a redneck tech. Mike Custer, and Teddy Smythe, the middle-aged British man dressed pompous English casual.
Guys,
He looks around the room and no one is listening except Teddy.
this is it.
He holds up the yellow pages.
Our first quarter page ad in the yellow pages.
Everyone moans. Teddy applauds. Interior FCA boardroom day. Flagen searches the room for someone to point to. They all look as if they wish he would point to them. He points to someone.
Gibbons, I need some slogans. Cunningham, get the art department moving.
He points to Dieter.
You, young cack, I want a signed contract with the production company today.
The production company?
The big Post House over on K Street. We use them all the time.
Check.
Now, Mr. Cack, we'll go over the details of our marketing strategy. Rolf?
Rolf gets up, clears his throat, and opens his mouth to speak. Interior Post House camera tech room day. The group is less motivated than before, except Teddy.
We're now positioned to move beyond just the word of mouth advertising and into anything a phone call can bring.
Merle burps and begins to explore a plastic bin, looking for a specific tool. Richard walks towards the wall where a Dick Post director poster hangs. Richard is lost in his daydream as the group inches toward the door.
Just think, a real commercial or TV show or even one of those TV movies about adultery, directed by Richard Post. The possibilities are endless.
Interior FCA boardroom day. The room is nearly empty. As Rolf walks out, two people pat him on the back to congratulate him on his presentation. Dieter tries to get Flagen's attention, but Flagen is discussing something with Virginia on the other side of the room.
Mr. Flagen?
As Dieter walks toward Flagen, he notices the bar mitzvah DVD case on the table. He picks it up and studies the case.
Post House Productions, K Street, bar mitzvahs.
Interior Post House camera tech room day. Richard is still lost in his daydream. Merle has found the proper tool. He sticks it in his ear.
And I gotta do one of those French art films where everybody looks sad and the dialogue doesn't make any sense.
Richard turns suddenly, now intently focused. He points to Merle, who removes a wax-caked thin screwdriver from his ear.
Merle, when we have clients in the office, I need you to stay in here with the door closed.
Merle wipes the screwdriver clean and deposits it on the desk.
Teddy, those fascinating stories about your documentary work? Nobody cares.
Teddy gives him a big thumbs up and a smile.
Kudos to Mike, everybody.
Richard applauds. No one joins him.
The Murphys absolutely love that star wipe effect. What's that called?
It's a star wipe.
That's great, really great. We should do more of those.
Tina Fazzole, the company's young receptionist, walks through the doorway and deposits all her stuff on the tiny conference table. Sorry I'm late. I got lost coming from my new apartment.
Why didn't you just take the metro?
There's no metro. I live out in far queer country, Virginia now.
It's pronounced Fauquier, my dear, named after Francis Fauquier, two-time Lieutenant Governor of Virginia during the French and Indian.
Teddy, nobody cares.
Right.
Interior FCA hallway day. Dieter is in the hall with the DVD under his arm.
You wanted something?
You really want me to go to the post house on K Street?
Yes. The big post house on K Street. Best Productions. They charge a fortune, but they're the #1 producer on the East Coast.
If you say they're the best.
Dieter leaves, pulling the door closed as he goes. Just before the door closes, Flagen calls out.
Don't forget to ask for Dwayne Best. He manages our account.
The door slams shut as Flagen says this. Interior post house reception day. Dwayne Best, dressed like a well-to-do car salesman, is leaning against the reception desk. Tina is trying to ignore him.
So what is it now? What is it going to be, T? You're going nowhere, making homes, movies for little Dickie? Let me take you to dinner. We'll talk about your career.
Dwayne, you disgust me.
After dinner, you can come with me. I'm going to buy a new Bang & Olufsen sound system. Costs even 7 big ones. You want to know why I can afford an exaggerate German Bang & Olufsen sound system?
No.
I'll tell you why. I know someone on the inside at F&C and A. They're sending someone over right now with a production contract worth, never mind.
Dwayne whispers in Tina's ear. Tina is unimpressed.
It just so happens to be the largest contract in DC history. And it just happens to be my account.
He fixes his hair.
I better go. I have to look surprised when they show up with the contract.
Dwayne goes to the door and leaves, does a quick surprise look.
I can't believe it. You picked us.
Dieter Kack walks in. Dwayne ignores Dieter and turns to face Tina.
If you change your mind, dinner's at 8. Call me. Dieter, you sicken me.
Dwayne tosses Tina a card and it lands perfectly on the desk in front of her. Dieter approaches Tina.
I'd like to see Mr. Post.
Wedding? Dieter, confused, looks down at his crotch. Tina picks up the card, tears it up into little pieces and puts it through the shredder as she talks to Dieter.
It's a coffee stain, I swear.
Are you here for a wedding, bar mitzvah, special event, feature film? What?
What? No, I have a contract for him.
We move from Dieter to Mike as he passes with the Isaac Glickstein, a Hasidic Jew.
Teddy's going to take good care of you, Mr. Goldstein. Glickstein.
Glickstein? Who's Glickstein?
We don't have one.
I was told that the movie was
told that the movie was done last Wednesday.
Done, but not finished.
Okay, boy trick. Yeah, how about you tell me and see what's done, okay? You let me see what's done.
Yeah, I'm sure Teddy will have something for you.
Mike and Glickstein pass by a cooking show set. Interior ad hoc cooking set day. Betty Filbert, gentle-looking cooking show host, stands behind a portable stovetop. A sign that reads that takes the cake with Betty Filbert is on the wall. A pie crust filled with mincemeat is in front of her. She looks directly into the camera. Do we have a Betty?
We have our burner on high. Whoa! Look at the flames. That's the way I like it, nice and hot. You can try different settings since fried mincemeat pie is sort of an experiment. Okay, the shortening is melted but not burning. It's time to fry a pie. Cut!
Now we see the real shot. Merle is holding a broomstick with a Mr. Microphone type mic on the end of it. A cameraman stands next to him. Daphne, wearing a headset and carrying a clipboard, walks into the shot.
You were supposed to clear that recipe through me. This show is for vegans. Mincemeat is murder.
Interior, exterior, Richard's office day. Outside the open office door, Daphne is arguing with Betty as they leave the cooking set and pass by Richard's office.
Just what the hell is a vegan anyway? It sounds dirty. Are you one of those, you know? That's it. I demand some respect. I'm going to discuss this with Richard.
Richard closes the door in Daphne's face and turns to Dieter, who is sitting.
I don't need to look at it. It's a standard production contract. We do them all the time.
You really should look. It's quite a large sum of money.
Large sum of money. Your Mr. Flagen's a cheapskate.
It's for $20 million.
I don't believe this. The focus goes a little soft and his kid picks his nose, which, by the way, I couldn't control, and the tripod came loose. Just for that, Walt Flagen sends some piss boy over threatening a $20 million lawsuit. You'll get laughed right out of court.
I don't know what you're talking about. But this contract says we're going to pay you $20 million.
Richard starts to say something, but then grabs a contract from Dieter, grabs a pen and signs it. Spot break. Exterior mountain day. A small group of men wearing ski masks and terrorist clothing are shouting and gesturing at the camera. One man comes forward, shouting,
Imperialist Americans will be trampled by the righteous.
Other men cheer in agreement.
We condemn you in the name of all that is just.
The men shout and cheer loudly, then somewhat weakly. They look at each other, the camera now revealing the men are each holding something big. Suddenly, they jump on inner tubes and go tubing down a hill full of kids and adults. Two of the men ride tandem. The leader rides alone. Cut to the back of the terrorists as they walk away holding their tubes, having just finished tubing down the hill. The following dialogue will be a voiceover as they walk away in the distance.
Our day of reckoning is nigh.
And the crap will be vanquished.
So, do you want to get some nachos?
Sure.
I could go for a chili dog.
Chili gives me gas.
You should take something for that.
Interior post house reception day. Teddy and Glickstein are looking for a monitor.
What do you think?
Oy vey, what was it, huh?
It was a doco I shot back in the 80s about a terrorist in Nepal. And that segment was called Insurgents on Holiday.
It looks like the Catskills to me.
As Teddy continues, Richard, with contract in hand, walks Dieter out.
Right. Well, the budget wasn't what it could have been, I have to say, but I think it really captured the zeitgeist of the time, don't you think?
I don't know from zeitgeist. I just came to pick up my son bar mitzvah movie.
The front door slams and Richard turns towards the reception area, whooping and hollering like he just won the Super Bowl.
I got Flagen, cack and ace! I got Flagen, cack and ace!
He grabs Tina by the shoulder.
I got Flagen.
He grabs Glickstein by the shoulder and then points to himself.
I got cack.
Betty, Daphne, Mike, Merle, and 3 or 4 of the others enter to see what the commotion's all about. Richard turns to Teddy.
And I got ace. I got Flagen, cack, and ace.
Richard continues to say he got Flagen, cack, and ace as he and Teddy hug each other and then jump up and down like children. Merle and Betty hug, as do Mike and Glickstein. Daphne embraces a surprised Tina. Then everyone but Daphne and Tina separate, looking embarrassed. Teddy awkwardly puts out his hand and shakes hands with Richard. Meanwhile, Daphne continues to aggressively hug Tina, then takes her to the floor. This happens while the following dialogue takes place.
That's right. As rain, Dickie. Aces all the way. What do you think, Mr. Gleickstein?
I don't know from Flagen. I don't know from cack, and I don't know what in the world is going on here.
Exterior FCA building sidewalk day. Flagen is smoking a cigarette. Virginia approaches and taps him on the shoulder.
Walt, we need to go upstairs.
Flagen is startled. Virginia takes a cigarette out of his mouth and throws it off screen.
I only smoke when I'm constipated.
Okay.
My doctor says I need more roughage, whatever the hell that is. What I really need is another smoke.
Flagen flips another cigarette into his mouth. Each time he does this, Virginia grabs them and throws them off screen. This goes on until the end of the scene.
We've made a rather large error.
Hair?
It appears young CAC took our $20 million production contract to Dick Post.
Dick Post? Who the hell's Dick? The bar mitzvah video guy?
That's him.
Cack, that little. This is bad, isn't it?
Yep, since you had us all sign it right before Dieter took it.
So we get it back and shred it.
And what makes you think he'll give it to us?
Because he's a loser. He shoots bar mitzvahs for a living. It'll be like taking candy from a baby. Now let's rally the troops and get that contract back.
Virginia grabs another cigarette and throws it down harder this time.
If you need me, if you get back and I'm not here, have the bathroom paged.
Flagen puts a cigarette in his mouth again.
TMI, Walt, TMI.
She pushes him, throws the cigarette away, and walks away.
Yeah, like you don't poop.
Walt finally pulls a cigarette up and is able to light it. Interior, Dwayne's office day. We see Dwayne in his office, feet propped up on his desk. The head and shoulder we are looking over is somewhat dark and out of focus.
Rolf, why do you talk to me so? You're killing me, babe. Anyway, I'm thinking of spot series, a list director.
We cut to an over-the-shoulder from Dwayne's point of view. The person he's talking to is actually a mannequin with Rolf's face on a stick in the neck.
That sucked. If they send Virginia, oh, Virginia, you spacey dish.
He rips Rolf's face out and puts Virginia's on the doll.
Why, Virginia? It is so nice for you to come over to my office with your big contract. We should go celebrate.
He caresses her face and goes in for a kiss with tongue, but stops before he gets there and picks up Walt's face. He gently removes Virginia's face and doesn't ever put Walt's in the doll.
What if Walt comes? No, he's heavy. He would never come personally. But they might send a little creatine Dieter.
He picks up Dieter's face and talks directly to it.
I hate you, Dieter. You all have that wish to possess. Why are you at Post House anyway? I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. They could be. Oh, but he would.
Dwayne quickly dials a number on his cell phone. Cheesy transition. Exterior, FCA parking lot day. Flagen and Virginia are walking toward a car. Dieter is following. Rolf is standing next to the car in the distance, holding an open bottle of mineral water.
I'm really sorry about the mix-up, Mr. Flagen.
Flagen stops and put his hand on Dieter's shoulder.
Dieter. Do you think when your father and I started F&C and Associates 20 years ago that mistakes weren't made?
Gee, Mr. Flagen, I can't imagine you ever making a mistake.
I didn't. It was that stupid-ass father of yours.
Rolf checks the time on his wristwatch, which is on the same hand as the water bottle. He spills water all over himself. Interior Post House reception day. Glickstein is sitting in a broken chair, reading a wedding magazine. Tina is behind the reception desk playing solitaire. Richard walks in carrying a folder with the Flagen account written on it.
Tina, have you seen my fake wedding ring?
Tina grabs it from her desk. Richard puts it on. Why do you wear that stupid thing?
It lets the client know that I'm a dependable family man.
But you're not.
That's beside the point. I don't like those older women hitting on me either. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I need you to give this to...
He notices Glickstein and awkwardly smiles at him. He turns back to Tina and speaks softly, but is easily heard by Glickstein.
Why is the Amish guy still here?
He's not Amish. He's Jewish.
Acidic.
See, He's not Jewish. He's acidic.
No, Hasidic is Jewish.
You know, I once thought of giving this all up and living off the land like you people.
I live in Brooklyn. I only flew down here for the bar mitzvah.
Giving up those horse and buggy, huh? Progressive. I like that.
The phone rings. Glickstein shakes his head and goes back to reading his magazine. Tina picks up the phone. Post house, can I help you? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. She motions to Richard. It's for you. Richard puts down the folder, puts the folder down on the counter and picks up the phone. Merle and Mike are carrying a large video deck. Oh,
So you can't fix it? What is this? Bad heads, biometric processors, some kind of nanometric condenser?
It's just broke.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Betty and Daphne come through the door as Mike and Merle leave. We follow them.
You don't get it, do you? I'm the producer. You're the so-called talent.
I got your talent right here, bitch. I'm taking my show to one of them demotivated, hungry students like what's finished high school.
We have a contract, old woman.
Daphne moves in front of Betty to stop her.
Who you calling old woman? I will flatten you like an armadillo on the highway, girl. Now get going to your little ballerina class.
Betty moves one way and Daphne cuts her off.
You'd better move or I'll be serving your vegan butt over tacos with salsa on my next show.
Daphne takes up a boxing pose.
I don't think so. I do Tybo 3 times a week.
Betty stares at Daphne as if to say, you've got to be kidding. Daphne makes a few lame Tybo moves, but never tries to touch Betty, whose arms are relaxed at her side. They both move out of frame. As we focus back on Richard, on the phone, we hear Daphne in the background.
I'll be there. Thanks. Bye now.
And jab, and 1, and hook, and 2.
Richard winks at Tina.
F, C, and A's are coming. Straighten up the place.
We hear a thud, then see Daphne fly backwards. She lands off screen.
And give them the VIP treatment. I gotta go fix myself.
Richard walks out. Tina returns to her solitaire. Teddy comes out of the room eating a Twinkie. Glickstein sees him.
Is there any hope that I walk out of here today with the bar mitzvah?
Well, I'm working on the director's cut. I say, has Michael given you your grand tour yet, Mr. Glickstein? He's very good, you know.
Teddy and Glickstein continue talking, but we don't hear them because the front door opens and Flagen, Cack, and Ace approach Tina, who doesn't notice them because she's still playing solitaire. Rolf is holding a cell phone up to his ear. He shakes his head yes, then hangs up. Daphne staggers like a drunk in the background, picks up Merle's broomstick, and continues staggering out of frame. Flagen and Virginia see this, glancing at each other, then turn their attention to Tina.
Excuse me.
Tina looks up.
This is Mr. Flagen and Mr. Cack, and I'm Virginia Ace. We're here to see Mr. Post.
And you're with?
Flagen, Cack, and Ace.
Interior bathroom day. Richard is looking in the mirror. He has shaving cream in his hand and is applying an ample amount to his face as he speaks.
This is crazy. Crazy. FC and A, man. FC and A, man. You're the man.
Richard takes a deep breath. He positions the razor on his face and makes one long stroke down. This causes the shaving cream to fall onto his pant leg. He screeches with disgust.
This is bad. Damn.
It appears the cream has made a trail from his upper shirt to his upper thigh. He panics as he tries to get it off himself. He continues to screech and moan. He turns with his back to the door and begins rubbing the last of it off near his upper thigh profusely. The door opens. Mike and Glickstein are talking when they notice Richard rubbing.
This is the bathroom.
They freeze in disbelief. Richard is screeching and moaning and then notices them. He continues to rub his upper thigh a bit slower.
I'm getting my spot off.
Mike and Glickstein give him a look that says that was too much information.
I mean, I'm rubbing one out.
Well, I think you've seen everything here. Let me take you back to the reception.
Good idea.
Interior post house reception day. Flagen, Cack, and Ace wait. Tina ignores them.
Anyway, could we move this along?
And you are?
Didn't we just go over this? We're the largest ad agency in Montgomery County, Maryland, and you've never heard of us?
Glickstein and Mike enter. No one pays attention to them. Glickstein sits down. Mike leaves towards the editing area.
This is unbelievable, Virginia.
Where do you live?
Fuck your county, Virginia. Virginia gasps.
I beg your pardon.
Teddy walks over.
No, you twit. You'll have to forgive the young lady. Tina, I thought I went over this with you this morning.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that came out all wrong. What I meant to say was, fuck your county.
That's it, love. Oh, perfect delivery.
Teddy gives a thumbs up to Flagen and walks away, oblivious to the disaster.
So, that's how it's going to be, is it? Well, two can play at that game.
Tina looks down at her solitaire cards. Really?
Come on, Ver.
As they turn to leave, but Flagen notices the Flagen account folder on the counter. Tina is still trying to make sense of two playing solitaire, and doesn't notice Flagen taking the folder.
Come on now, Virginia. Mr. Cock.
Flagen looks toward Tina.
Too bad we missed Mr. Post. Maybe next time.
They rush out the door. What do you make of that, Mr. Glickstein?
Don't get nothing against nobody's county. I just want to get my bar mitzvah tape before I die. God forbid I should live to be 120.
Interior post house elevator hall day. Flagen, Cack, and Ace are in the elevator. Richard comes from the bathroom and sees them. He rushes over to see if it's them. As the elevator door closes in his face, Flagen flicks him off, smiling. Richard tries to get open the door, but can't, so he rushes back inside. Interior post house reception day. Richard enters.
What happened to Flagen?
He's nuts. That's what happened. First of all, he hates Virginia.
What?
The woman asked me where I live. When I told her, she freaked out. Then the Flagen guy said, I beg your pardon. They're all a bunch of frickin' wackos. We hear a whack, then see Betty in the background fall face down, unconscious. Daphne, a disheveled mess, enters the frame holding a broken broomstick with Mr. Microphone dangling from it. She drops it on the floor. Mike enters the shot to see what happened. He shakes his head, but does nothing. Richard turns back to Tina.
And then he just left?
No. Then he said 2 people can play solitaire. Where does that come from? I mean, if 2 people played solitaire, it would be War or Crazy Eights, right? Teddy walks over.
No, my dear. The etymology of solitaire can be traced back to the reign of Queen Elizabeth. I believe you'll find solitaire to be a derivative of Old Maid, which...
We're sure going to stop already with the solitaire and the old maid. Besides, if 2 people played solitaire, it would be goldfish.
You think?
I suppose he has a point, love.
Shut up. Everybody just shut up. I don't care about solitaire or anybody's dumb county in Virginia.
Richard pauses. Richard point of view in slow motion of Tina, Glickstein, Teddy, Mike, Betty, Daphne, and Merle, who has picked up the broomstick like it was a comrade killed in action. Richard has a very confused look on his face. Back to normal.
What do we do?
Oh, I don't know. How about getting me my movie already?
Richard suddenly runs out the front door. Interior building lobby day. Dwayne Best is pacing the area, talking on his cell phone.
I don't care if he's out of the office. This is urgent.
Flagen, Cack, and Ace leave the elevator and approach Dwayne. Dwayne is facing away and doesn't notice them. Interior stairwell day. Richard races down the stairs. Interior building lobby day.
Look, if Mr. Flagen finds out that I was trying to reach him and you didn't put me through, he'll have your ass. Believe me.
You're one lucky son of a bitch, Dwayne.
Mr. Flagen, I've been trying to reach you all day. I was worried.
Well, I've got everything under control.
Dwayne has turned and is now in front of Flagen, but he still doesn't see him.
Scroll down. Good, because I heard the insane rumor that you gave me the contract to Dick Poe.
I'm right here, you idiot.
Dwayne finally sees Flagen.
No, Mr. Post won't be giving us any trouble.
Flagen laughs. Then Virginia, Rolf, and Dwayne start laughing. Richard suddenly bursts out from the stairwell.
Mr. Flagen, don't be upset. I can explain everything. Actually, I can't explain anything, but I have a few ideas.
I'm not upset. I'm on top of the world. Virginia, give Dick here a little pro bono legal advice.
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah, tenths. 9/10 even.
I'm not really following you guys.
Flagen shows Richard the Flagen account folder.
This closes out your so-called Flagen account.
Flagen hands the folder to Dwayne.
I believe this is yours, Dwayne.
Dwayne opens the folder. Flagen smiles.
Gosh, thank you, I think.
Dwayne hands a piece of paper from the folder back to Flagen.
You see, that's what separates a schlock outfit like yours from a professional company like Best Productions. They know how to appreciate.
Flagen begins reading the piece of paper.
50% off your next wedding or bar mitzvah, courtesy of Post House Productions.
It was the least I could do with you giving me that big production deal and all.
Flagen, Cack, and Ace and Dwayne sneer at Richard as if they are about to murder him.
This may not be the best time, but when do we shoot our first commercial?
Exterior K Street building night. One light remains lit in the building.
I think I'm starting to get bed sores waiting here.
Interior Post House reception night. MS of Glickstein.
You got it or don't you got it?
MS of Teddy. He looks troubled. Good shot, I guess. Deciding whether or not to confess.
Mr. Gleichstein, go fish.
Gleichstein throws down a fist full of cards in disgust. Fade out.
Good job, everyone, and good job. I forget the other name on it, and it's gone now. Don and
Gary.
Gary. All
Gary
right.
Potterfield.
Good memory, Clint.
Wow.
Awesome. I thought that was fun. What did you guys think of it?
Funny.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah, I
funny.
had a lot of fun with that. There were a lot of different characters kind of just all mixed around. It was kind of a blast to read through.
I enjoyed it. Every once in a while, I caught myself laughing, and then I looked up. Oh, yeah, I'm still on mute. Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was smiling. There's one part where the lady got hit and like flew across the thing, and then I got so occupied on like picturing that in my head. Oh, my line is next. I got and had to read.
Yeah, I thought the pacing was really well too. Done really well. Like one thing ends like when they finally grab the folder, it's like that part of the tension is gone, but then instantly it's like the two ladies crash into each other fighting, So I thought that he did a good job of pacing it.
And I felt like that was a good job, like you mentioned there, of, like misdirect. Like you thought when he had the folder, it could potentially be the actual contract and stuff, and then later you find out it's not or whatever. But
Yeah.
do you guys have what else did you guys like about it? Does it make you guys? I felt like maybe I didn't play the character. Well, while we are going through, I'm all, oh, maybe this is kind of like an office guy, and like that office manager. I forget his name in the office right now, but yeah, like a Steve Carell character.
Yeah, definitely. He
It
definitely
felt
seems
like
like that.
It felt like it could almost be like a James Bond sort of short. There's like a mission and then briefcase swapping and espionage kind of thing.
Yeah. So I thought it was fun and very, I don't know, like I do feel like I could, I don't know, watch more of the things going on with these characters and that story.
I know I was a little confused because there was a couple of like there's one, it's listed as a spot break where the Stu the Insurgent and Arnold the Insurgent and Norman the Insurgent. It's like this funny little clip from something else that just pops in the middle there, and it was funny. But it was like, what is this? What are we doing here? What's going on for a second? There was a little confusion there, but
Yeah, I was definitely confused at that moment. And then they do apply it later, like the guy showing it to the other person.
oh,
Right.
is he okay?
I think so,
missed
as a
that.
sample of what he's done. Like, what do you think of my doc? I did my documentary. I don't know.
I'd like to apologize for jumping in. I didn't realize that was Vicky's line. And then I was like, oh, you know what? I run a cooking series on YouTube. So I'm just going to take this and talk like I do in the cooking series. Like,
Oh,
I run a cooking
I didn't
series.
realize either. It's a
Yeah.
big
I went to look who had it, and you had it. You got it. So that was great because you did a fantastic job too. And you did too when you picked it back up, Vicki.
Well, I do have a little bit of a cooking series on YouTube called Cooking with Heather that I started like in I think it was 2013. And I also kind of talked how Tim and Al did on Home Improvement. I sort of combined those two things. So.
That's cute.
Are there any?
This is ironic, but I have actually filmed one episode of a cooking show myself. I haven't carried on with it, but I will.
Oh.
The only cooking show that I'd ever do is mac and cheese.
That's the
Well,
only one we
a
need.
cooking show, any type of little how to do it show is not easy to run because you have to keep thinking of things to make and commentary to give the viewers as you make the thing, and then you have to go through all the steps. You have to narrate so people can actually follow along later when you put it on YouTube. So anybody who does that sort of thing, kudos to them.
And like that show with all the people and all the things that go into it, this Post House has all those things and crazy people. Is there anything else you guys were confused about in it, or other things you liked or didn't like?
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen. It seemed like it resolved really quickly after they realized that it was just a coupon, and that was good. But I feel like something more could have happened there, just for myself.
Yeah, like what was that little scene at the end? It felt sort of disjointed from the rest of it.
Well, for me personally, like I kind of liked the ending there because you're like, all right, you know this is going to continue, and it didn't end right there because he still has the $20 million contract, and he's like, he's not phased by it all. He's just like excited to work with them, and he still thinks it's real, and they're going to do commercials together.
The end little bit, the playing
yeah,
or whatever.
I like doing those things myself too, like because it had the Jewish guy waiting the whole time. So it shows that even after the credits or whatever, he's still sitting there waiting, trying to.
Yeah, that was cute. That was good.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I would be nice to give it another read through and like really pick it out to get like some really good feedback, but it was really, really well done. I do think that the end, there could be something a little bit more punchy because it's awesome that they like gave it to him. And I don't know if it's like Dwayne looking up and being like, yo, what the hell is this, man? Like, I don't want this coupon or something like that. Or I don't know. I think it was great. We're really well done. And one of the things that I also wanted to say is when a lot of the times in there, well, a couple times in there, when he's talking through the descriptions, the one that stands out in particular is like when the guy's trying to smoke a cigarette and the lady's throwing it out. And so he said before the scene happens, right, that this is going to continue on throughout there. And I just thought that was an interesting way to go about seeing that dynamic that's going on, is like, that every time he's going to try to take a cigarette, she's going to be like, "Oh, get out of here," and throw it away. So I thought that was super interesting how he like prefaced the action of what was going on in the scene the whole way through, like a reoccurring action, I guess.
So does this one guy have a reputation for shooting weird bar mitzvah wedding videos? Like maybe you could see montages of him shooting previous videos before you go into the main one that he's shooting? Or how did that one video turn out anyway? You see the dad picking it up, but you don't see a thing of the dad watching it or complaining about it or anything. How did it turn out?
See, you want to watch more? No, it does seem like, they don't show us, but I, like you were coming to the conclusion. I think we can come to the conclusion that they don't do a very good job.
Yeah, that's like super small time.
And Betty and Daphne, what's the outcome of their little physical fight at the office? Do they get a reprimand? Do they get anything? And all the swearing at the office. I mean, if there was a fight in the swear at an office I would managing, well, there would be an outcome to it, obviously.
Well, you saw this owner, he's oblivious to that. Like they're fighting in the background and he just keeps talking and doesn't even act like anything's happened.
They got a $20 million, like multi-million-dollar contract. Doesn't that make him want to be more serious? Doesn't that want to make him like help his employees be more serious?
I think he is serious.
Episodes?
I think these are good points that you're bringing up. But I do think he thinks he's serious. He thinks,
Yeah.
doing his best. At least is what I got out of it. Anyone else? Did you guys get anything?
Yeah, I
different,
think he's
or-
delusional. I think that's what it is, right? Like he thinks he's the next great director, and then he finally got his big break, and oh my gosh, this is what's going to happen, So he's off in dreamland, which is, I've seen it around a lot, It's
I'm
super
actually a
funny.
little curious. Like, I guess for like the climax of the season, I'm like, are they actually gonna accidentally end up making something great, or is it gonna crash and burn, or like, what else is gonna
They're
happen?
like modern day Muppets almost.
Kind of. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
But Marvin, honestly, good job with it.
Oh,
Thank
this
you.
wasn't Marvin's, or do you mean his
whose was
performance?
it?
This is Don's and co-writers.
Oh, Dawn. Dawn,
Yeah.
if you're watching, we love you.
Yes. So it's clear we all thought it was funny. You got any other feedback you guys can give? Any constructive stuff, or just
One
if not,
thing
that's
I
good.
got one thing I got a little bit tripped up on, and of course it's a first read. Everybody's getting tripped up on it. But what the bracketing, if you could separate that from the dialogue, like when somebody smiles and you put smiles in a bracket,
The
if you can make
parentheses.
that a separate line, that'll rattle off a lot better.
Yeah.
I
And
didn't-
then, I noticed two kind of typos. I think number 27, not page 27, I think is scene, 17. When they're talking about Flanagan, I think there's a small typo in there. And then on scene 21, it says something like something the heavy or whatever in the dialogue. And I think that's just not I think that the sentence, or there was a word that like you added an extra Y or something onto it or something. I don't know. It doesn't read that well. But other than that, I think everything else was really good. I really only noticed the two typos, honestly, in the whole thing.
And that's the nice thing about listening to the table reads is to be able to hear what trips people up. So you'd be able to either simplify it or change it a slight bit, and then it'll work so much better.
Yeah.
Well, there's one thing that I think you might only get from the table read was when Angelina's reading the descriptions, something was like cluster messed up, and then the next introduction of someone we haven't met before is Custer. So I was reading and thinking the exact same thing, like where she went to say it with a CL, and like, but I don't know if you would change that ever, but that would thing. All right, well, these seem like minor little things. And
I would say, I think, a lot of the action dialogue, because it was just so packed in there. Now I see how important it is to break that up as much as like make them smaller. I know it's kind of a stylistic choice, but it makes it really hard to read that as opposed to a bunch of small ones. So
yeah, they're usually separated out into about roughly 3 to 4 lines normally, and that helps to break it up, and you get that second to think in between each one.
Yeah, that the white spaces.
And I wanted to just say too, I love the script. Like I said, I was laughing through it and hoping I was still on mute and that kind of thing. It kept me really engaged. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fun.
That was fun too. All right,
Good job, Don.
Yeah, good job, everyone.
They call him Don Lampasone because he is the head of the Lampasone crime family. That's what the Don is all about.
Front is a post-production house. They got $20 million. They got to clean going through there.
Yeah.
All right,
I wonder. I mean, because Don owns a production company and makes a bunch of stuff. Like, is this a documentary, Don?
Was Don doing bar mitzvah videos?
This is just like a day in his life.
We'll ask him or have him answer those questions when next week or when he does or next month or when he does the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Give him a hard time.
All right. If there's no more things you want to say about liking it or feedback, then we will take a 5-minute intermission and come back on the 7-minute intermission. So 7:05, 8:05, whatever 05 you're at.
All right.
We'll see you guys back.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
This intermission and table reads are brought to you by Cypher Studios and whatever Don Lampasone's production company is called. DonLampasone.com. It is 05 for us to get started again once everybody is back. All right, we've got a few more. Hope everyone had a good little break. Cool. All right. Oh, so I guess just do we have the two people that are reading? Yep, we have Jason and we have Morgan and we have me. So we can get started. I think Angelina is purposefully hidden and muted, and because this is her script. All right, then Jason and Morgan, I'm going to share the screen and I'll scroll. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, then here we go. Fungirl and Fungi, Episode 1, written by Angelina Peterson. Exterior forest day. Fungi, 40, well-manicured city man, trudges through the greenery with a bucket and mycology book. He pulls a can of bug spray from his cargo shorts pocket and sprays it frantically as he swats dangling vinery and darts his eyes around looking incredibly out of place. Fungirl, 40, in cargo pants, disheveled hair, complete opposite of Fungi in every way, seems incredibly well-versed in mushroom hunting, walks intently with her walking stick, basket, and a loyal dog, Hersey, by her side. She walks slowly with purpose, her eyes on everything. She looks up to see oyster mushrooms in a tree and flips her walking stick up to poke the mushrooms. They are too high. Rustling sound. Hersey stands still and looks toward it. Fungirl searches the ground, hears the sound, turns toward it. And there's Fungi, completely oblivious. He walks heavy-footed and swiftly through the path. His bucket bangs between the trees and his legs. Fungirl shakes her head. She looks down to a gorgeous morel mushroom his foot is about to crush. Panic sets in. Slow-mo. Fungirl dives, arms outstretched.
No!
She lands 10 feet away. He jumps back. Hersey barks.
What?
Fungirl crawls to the mushroom, plucks the tasty morsel from the ground, and delicately holds it in front of her. His eyes widen.
You almost crushed this gorgeous Mortacella conica. Tread lightly out here. It's moral season.
Sorry?
What a shame that would have been, wouldn't it? Did you see any more?
Fungirl sets the mushroom in basket and scans the forest floor.
No, I didn't see that mortuary colonic.
Mortacella conica, the black moral.
Stands back, looks him up and down, then cocks head.
Would you do something for me?
He leans in and grins. She steps towards him with a walking stick outstretched above, head tilted, and one eye closed, estimating his height. She repeats. Missed that. Okay.
I think we just got a little out of place. That's all
Yeah,
right.
sorry. He steps backwards and turns away as the walking stick is inches from his face. Smile disappears.
Sorry.
Fungirl puts her stick by her side and awkwardly sticks her hand out to shake. The hand lingers.
I'm not used to seeing anyone else out here. My name is...
Hersey barks. We don't hear her name. Fungi stares at her hand.
Sorry?
Fungirl brings hand back and wipes it on her pants.
All's forgiven. Are you new to mycology?
Fungi mouths the words silently.
The study of mushrooms.
Fungirl picks up the book from his bucket and flips through.
Which ones do you know so far?
Well, funny thing,
Her focus shifts just beyond him. She darts around. She snatches a couple more owls from behind Fungi.
Gotcha.
Percy looks on and sniffs the ground for more. Fungi watches her with fascination. He hesitates to speak and sighs. No words come out.
You know, you might just be my lucky rabbit's foot.
Fungi blushes. Fungirl plunks mushrooms into the basket. She glares at his plastic basket and shakes her head.
That'll never do. Mushrooms love baskets. Spores drop right through.
She walks on, then stops to look back.
You coming?
Fungi walks daintily and cautiously to avoid potentially stepping on any other mushrooms. Fungirl notices awkwardness and care. Exterior forest day. Golden sunlight filters through the trees and lands upon them, which scatters the light patterns. Fungirl sits on Fungi's shoulder with her stick in hand. There's a certain comfort around each other. Fungirl pokes around oyster mushrooms in a tree to loosen them. Basket in Fungi's hand, full of choice edible mushrooms. His bucket on the ground beside him contains random dirty mushrooms. One red top, one has a bite taken out of it, its cap. The oyster mushrooms loosen. A piece of bark falls beside him.
Here it comes.
Fungi barely catches it in the basket. She loses balance and falls forward into his arms, beautifully bathed in golden sunlight. Their eyes lock onto each other, their lips close. He still holds the basket of mushrooms. She smiles.
My hero, you didn't drop even one.
Fungi looks at her with a goofy smile, sets her down. She holds the basket up to show her. His world swirls. He takes a step back. She grabs the basket from him with concern. He steadies himself, picks up his bucket, and grabs a red-topped Amanita muscura mushroom and takes a bite with full concentration. Fungirl stops, stunned, then smacks his hand. Excuse me. I was trying to wait. And face in one motion, which sends the mushroom flying. Fungi's mouth drops back.
How much did you eat?
He shrugs, her voice warped.
You cannot eat one mushroom, whatever this one, got it?
Fungirl grabs his book. Fungi flinches as if she's to hit him again. She flips through the pages till she finds the one. The world distorts. Trees appear alive. A group of bunnies surround him like he's Snow White. His face shifts instantly to concern.
Am I gonna die? Can you help me?
No and no. You're just going to have to learn the hard way. Sorry.
Fungi stumbles, sits down, and looks up pathetically. Hersey pup curls on his lap and whines.
Hersey?
Fungirl raises her eyebrows, then smiles with a tilted head and looks adoringly at the two.
She never cuddles anyone.
Fungi hugs the pup and looks up at Fungirl, who stands over him. A smile spreads across his face with sleepy eyes.
I love you, mushroom girl.
Fungirl transforms into a mushroom. He laughs and smiles. The mushroom sighs, then cuddles up beside him and the dog.
Thanks, Fungi. I love you too.
She speaks, but her mouth is closed and lips don't move. He puts his arms around her, which blankets over it with moss, and then the sky darkens. As the sky darkens, they become part of the forest, quiet and beautiful as the sun sets and the moon rises. Exterior forest night. Fungirl pulls on Fungi's arms and rouses him out of his sleep. A wolf howls, "Oh!" nearby.
Get up.
The giant mushroom pulls at him.
Oh, hey there. When did you get up?
You can't sleep here. It gets too cold at night and the wild animals are more active.
Where are we going?
Fungi stands up. Hersey jumps up.
I'll bring you home. Come on.
They walk through the forest. Interior Fungirl's car night.
Where do you live?
I don't know. I just moved here.
No idea.
Nope.
Fungi boops her on the nose.
Funny mushroom girl.
She looks up and off to the side, thinking, then quickly turns to face him. She raises her hands up like a karate chop. Her appearance poofs to normal.
Don't try anything funny. I know karate, and I will hurt you.
Fungi
Please
flinches.
don't hurt me.
Fungirl tries to hide her smirk and she relaxes.
Good. My place isn't far. My kid's at my mom's for the night. If you behave, you can take her bed for the night.
I'll behave. I'm a good boy. Just ask my mom.
Fungi reaches up to grab the air freshener and sniffs in deep. He opens up the console and rifles through it like a kid in a candy shop. He opens the glove compartment. Eureka! He found her secret chocolate bar stash. The sound of a wrapper crinkles. He has chocolate all over his face.
Did you eat my chocolate?
Fungi shakes his head like a little child. Fungirl starts the car and drives off. She pouts.
That was my favorite.
Interior Fungirl's house, kids' bedroom, night. Fungirl helps Fungi into bed. He lays back and pulls the covers up. She takes off his shoes and holds them.
The bathroom is right across the hall. I'll be in my room, with the doors locked.
She stops to look at him. He's cuddled in. She smiles.
Night.
Interior front room continue. Fungirl sets his shoes down by the front door, notices the bat and grabs it. Interior Fungirl's bedroom continues. She locks the door. She climbs in the bed and snuggles up under the blankets.
Go away. Please help. Please help me.
Fungirl grabs a bat and reluctantly heads to his room. Interior kid's bedroom, continuous. Fungi, eyes wide open, shaking, pulls up the blankets, legitimately scared and overwhelmed.
You're okay. It's okay. Look at me.
Fungi looks up to see the giant mushroom girl with the bat that becomes a baguette.
Oh, good, it's you. Oh, thanks.
He smiles and tries to take a bite out of the baguette.
This is dry.
Fungirl pulls it from his hands. She closes her eyes and grits her teeth.
So, you good?
No. Stay. The room's all weird. I'm scared. It won't stop.
The Fungirl sighs and sits down next to him on bed. She puts the bat down.
Here, turn on your stomach.
He does.
I'll rub your back. It always helps Anita when she has nightmares.
Anita?
My kid, the one whose bed you're in.
He looks around and sees the pink walls, stuffed animals, and giant band posters are there. Actually there. He nods. Fungirl rubs his back and yawns. Fungi calms down.
Thank you, Mushroom Girl. It's really nice. You're a good mushroom. Oh, I like you. I'm going to take good care of my Mushroom Girl.
Shh, go to sleep.
Her appearance returns to normal. Interior kid's bedroom night. Fungirl has fallen asleep. Fungi wakes up and sees the giant mushroom sitting upright and gently lays her down. He covers her with a blanket and lays back down. Doused in dewdrops twinkling in the twilight, she cuddles up to a body-shaped moss hill in bed, asleep. He puts his arm around the mushroom girl, which grows over her like a blanket. Interior bedroom day. Back to the normal world. Fungi cuddles Fungirl. His arms are wrapped around her. He holds her gently, all cozy. He appears more himself. His eyes widen with delight as he sees who he's cuddled up to. He smiles sweetly and then falls back to sleep. Interior bedroom day. Fungirl nuzzles into his arms with a pleasurable sigh, her arm wrapped and snuggled around his. She smiles in her sleep, her eyes open, smile gone. She lets go of his hand, turns to face him. She carefully removes his hand, sets it down. As she gets up, she lifts the covers to see they are both fully closed. She lets out a sigh of relief. She tiptoes out of the room and backtracks to pick up the bat. Interior kitchen morning. Fungirl holds a box in her hand and quickly fills it with all the mushroom memorabilia to hide the quirkiness of her home and self. The mushroom salt and pepper shaker on the table are forgotten. Interior Anita's bedroom day. Fungirl sets a coffee on the bedside table and gives him a little shoulder wiggle to wake him.
Hey, I'm making some breakfast, so once you're up, come to the table. You should get something to in your tummy besides that mushroom, I think.
Fungi rises and wavers, woozy.
And my chocolate bar.
Fungi takes a gulp of coffee. Then, as soon as he brings the cup down, the coffee spills out of his mouth back into the cup.
Not coffee.
Chaga. Way better than coffee.
Fungi smiles only with his mouth as he painfully takes another sip, a small, cautious one this time. Interior kitchen shortly later. Fungi comes out to a full spread of waffles, bacon, toast, fruit, poached, fried, scrambled, and boiled eggs, mushrooms, of course, oatmeal, and various jars of strange dried fruits. Fungirl, as an afterthought, sets out an unopened and dusty box of sugary cereal by him as he sits down.
This is incredible. Thank you.
Fungi grabs the cereal box, blows the dust off, and opens it. Fungirl stands frozen for a minute, eyes bigger than normal. She shakes her head with a look of realization as she overlooks this buffet of food. Maybe she went a little overboard. She glances down and relaxes for the first time since they met. She grabs the box of cereal he had just set down and pours her own bowl and sits down beside him.
Thanks.
He grabs a few slices of bacon and shoves them in his mouth. He grabs the salt and pepper shakers. Fungirl's mouth drops open and her eyes widen as she reaches for the shakers, embarrassed at the missed mushroom memorabilia. The noses bump and she freezes, the lips an inch apart.
Cute.
She blushes. The cupboard behind them explodes open, and all the mushroom memorabilia spills out, toppling everywhere. She sits back down as if nothing happened, eyes wide open.
Another cup of coffee?
She pours chaga tea into his cup. Fade out. Woo! All right. Good job, you two. And good job, Angelina. She still has to be muted as we talk about her script. So, what did everyone think?
Very sweet.
Yeah, it was really cute little meet cute sort of story. Not sure where it would go from here, like if because she mentioned it could potentially be a pilot for a web series, and I'm not into mushrooms, so I'd be it probably I wouldn't be the target audience on this one, but yeah, I don't know where it would go from here. I guess just kind of a relationship would blossom, I suppose, but what would that look like? I don't know.
All right. Anyone else have some thoughts?
I think, yeah, if it was to go into a web series, it would be interesting to kind of build up a little bit more of each character's backstory, like right before what happened, what we see right now, and then that would be kind of like the end of at least the pilot, you know?
Interesting. That's an approach. Anyone else? Yeah. Vicki.
There's the daughter. She would be introduced right away, and that would set a course of dynamics. I mean, this relationship is just starting to build, and let's face it, when you add a kid, it can go sideways. So yeah, it could go in a lot of directions. I think it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, can their worlds mesh and being from the city and Herso country? So, do you guys have any other thoughts? Any constructive feedback? Anything you were also maybe confused by or thought could be different?
I think the writing was good. Like I really, it was very clear throughout what was happening. Everything was very clear. There was no question about where they were at, what their relationship was, how things changed, their dynamics. Everything was really clear throughout. I think the dialogue worked. Yeah, the actions worked.
Cool. I guess no feedback and comments is good feedback and comment. So
yeah, I guess.
I think we have so much more to learn about the characters, and what are they going to be like actually interacting without him having mushrooms in his stomach? Yeah, I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, and I'm sure she has an answer for the feature, but she's like muted, holding her tongue right now. And we'll get that on the after discussion after we read the final script. All right, well, that was short and sweet, the 10 pages. So if there's no more feedback and stuff, then I guess we shall move on. And I'm going to have to bite my tongue as Angelina comes back and takes over. Bye.
Yes, so you hear me before you see me. I don't have a different background, so this is what you get. Thank you, guys. So this one we're about to read, Evo, was written about 10 years ago by Jacob, and he actually had only shown it, and I didn't know this until he told me the other day, that he'd only shown it to 3 people, and I was one of them. So, so I felt very blessed for that. And now it'll be a whole lot more than 3. He actually didn't get much of a chance to do edits because he's been busy with all of this stuff. So busy with work, busy with getting all of this together. So I'm interested to see how that is. I just have to make sure that I've got the correct one. And then I'll get it started. Sorry, one moment here. I should have had that ready before. Okay. Here we go. Everyone's got their characters. And I'm going to double check one moment because we had somebody new, or somebody who was supposed to be here and wasn't. So, okay. There we go. And thank you for your patience. Sharing screen. There. I believe that worked. Maybe. Okay. Everyone can see?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So Evo by Jacob Patrick. Fade in. Interior Andy's kitchen morning. In a newly remodeled kitchen, Mark Surrogatos, 40s, a man ready for work, reads his newspaper and drinks his coffee. Next to him, a 14-year-old boy, Andy Halbert, scarfs down some bacon and eggs and bacon while guzzling orange juice to wash it down. A middle-aged woman, Andy's mom, 40s, with a soft face and bob haircut in a sundress, hands him some fresh pancakes.
Thanks, Mom.
Andy, with your mouth closed, please.
Sorry, Mom.
Andy's mom just shakes her head while smiling. Finished eating, Andy stands halfway up, finishes his orange juice and slams the cup down, grabbing his backpack and rushing out the door. His mom follows to the door. Exterior, Andy's front yard, morning. Andy hurries down the stairs and pathway. And Andy says,
Could you scroll down?
oh, you can't see that? Right here.
Oh,
Oh, wait, no, sorry, it went way up or something.
Yeah, it's doing something really weird.
I
he
think
follows his mom to the door.
you might not have it selected, Angelina.
Oh,
It looks great out on the top, and it's not scrolling down on this side.
oh, it's not, is it not working?
It's frozen. It's not moving.
Okay, I'm going to start over. Sorry about that. Ah, I see. Okay, there were 2 of them up, and I had the wrong one. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, I had the wrong one I was scrolling on. Exterior, Andy's front yard. Oh, let's see, follows him to the front door. Exterior, Andy's front yard, morning. Andy hurries down the stairs and pathway.
Bye, Mom.
Have a good day at school. Be safe.
I will. Love you. See you, Mark.
Interior, Andy's kitchen, morning. Mark looks up from his phone. Andy's mom comes in from the doorway.
Later, kiddo.
Remember when I had to force that boy to eat?
Yeah, before you started freestyle walking.
I thought that was called parkour. Mark shrugs and returns to looking at his phone as he eats. Exterior neighbors street morning. Andy comes around the corner, pivoting on his hand off the wall. Carlos Vasquez flip drops from the tree. He picks up his bag and they walk together down the sidewalk.
What's up?
You were.
Always.
Are you ready to be sophomores?
I'm ready to be a senior.
Sure you are. Uh-oh.
What?
Goons. 12 o'clock.
Sam Rixford, a telephone pole of a boy. Nathan Gurillium, a semi of a boy, and Joey Tuna past, a dirty, greasy little weed stand up from leaning on a tree and block the sidewalk.
Here we go.
Lunches now.
Or lunch money. We take Bitcoin, gold, silver, and cash.
What, you ate yours already?
We don't want any trouble. Sam?
Sam says.
Well, that's Marvin.
Sounds like your friend does.
I'm just saying, looks like...
Carlos, come on.
Andy and Carlos attempt to ignore and walk around them. Joey grabs Andy. Andy squeezes a pressure point and Joey drops to his knees. Ow! Sam and Nathan reach for Carlos. He dodges them, steps off the trunk, launching to a branch, and swings over them. Andy lets go of the pressure point. Joey reaches for him. Andy jumps over a bush that Joey falls onto. Carlos and Andy run off down the street.
What happened?
What are you talking about? There were two of you. Carlos pulls a banana out of his lunch.
What are you doing?
Wanted our lunch? Here's a banana, ape man.
Carlos tosses the banana that lands right in front of Nathan. Sam and Joey start to run. Nathan grabs them.
I'll get you, you little monkey. Later.
Nathan smashes the banana.
You shouldn't have done that.
It's not like they don't have it out for us already.
I just don't want any trouble this year, man. I want to get through this year without any trouble.
Something catches their eyes, a silhouette dancing from rooftop to rooftop in front of the rising sun.
What's that?
Who is that?
I don't know. Let's go find out.
Carlos and Andy try to keep up with the distant figure. The silhouette jumps from rooftop to another, slides down one and launches to a roll, then around the pole and off another like an Olympic gymnast. Andy and Carlos jump over the cars and bushes, dodge poles, bikes, and dogs. They can't keep up. It drops behind a wall, the school wall. Andy and Carlos come around the wall. Exterior schoolyard morning. Classmates fill the busy schoolyard.
Where'd they go?
No clue. Got your class schedule?
Yeah, I downloaded last night.
Smart. I have to go get mine.
All right, let's go.
A silhouette watches Andy and Carlos walk off. Interior hospital morning. Dr. Negatensi walks to a woman with dark rings around her eyes and two tired children in pajamas holding stuffed animals.
I'm sorry, we've tried every recommended procedure. None of them seems to be taking. You might want to say your goodbyes.
Stifling tears, the family walks in the patient's room. Visibly sad, Dr. Negatensi observes through the window. The kids climb onto their dad. The family lets painful cries loose. The patient's wife leaves her two children laying on their dying father and walks to Dr. Negatensi.
Dr. Negatensi, thank you for all you've done. But is there anything else? Anything at all?
I'm sorry, there aren't any other reasonable procedures we haven't tried.
What about unreasonable treatments, experimental methods? What?
No.
There was something you thought of.
There's something I'm working on, but it's only in the early stages. It's not ready.
How long have you been working on it?
My whole life.
When will it be ready?
The patient's wife is getting louder, drawing the attention of her husband.
I don't know. I hope soon.
Well, we have to try it.
It could kill him.
He is dying!
The honest truth echoed down the halls and into the ears of her children. The children, stunned, stare at her and bawl even louder than before. The patient weakly nods her in.
Excuse me.
The patient's wife rushes back into the hospital room. He says something we can't hear through the glass. Dr. N starts to walk away. The mother and children exit the room.
He'd like to speak with you.
Patient's room. Dr. N walks into his patient's bedside. His pale and withered patient with dark greasy hair weakly gestures him closer.
Please, kill me.
Dr. N nearly jumps back.
I can't bear to see my family in so much pain. I need to put them out of their misery so they can move on. My wife said it. I'm gone anyways.
He looks at his family outside. Dr. N's eyes reveal his turmoil. Exterior schoolyard day. Teenagers are exiting their classrooms.
So what do you think of your class so far?
First period math, teacher is monotone, going to struggle to stay awake. English seems tough, but the teacher is HOTT. I'm going to struggle to focus in that class for sure. You?
PE, I mean, it's PE and science is science.
Yeah, thanks. That says a lot.
But there's this girl in PE, I mean, she was...
Oh, someone's question already.
No, it's not that. I mean, she was just doing like the simplest things, running, jumping. She was just doing it with like this flair, you know?
Rush.
Don't look. She's actually right behind us.
Carlos looks.
I said not to look.
Dark skin, dark hair, purple scarf.
Oh, that's her. Oh,
Cutie. What's her name?
I don't know.
Why don't you go ask her?
I'll find out. Okay. Hey, where'd you go?
I don't know, but now it's your turn to not turn around.
Andy turns around. The bully trio is there, clearing the dweebs from their path until their eyes lock on Andy's.
I told you not to look.
Quiet. Oh, what are they doing?
Oh, just coming to thank us for their breakfast, Banana.
Great. Oh, what do you want to do?
Too late for that.
Not lunch yet. Still a chance for you to live through it.
The brick-walled Nathan is standing behind Andy with his minions to his side.
It's a very kind offer.
Andy steps away to distance himself. Nathan grabs his shoulder. Andy drops down, slipping out of Nathan's grasp, then jumps onto the ledge. Nathan reaches for him. The door between them opens, and in his way, almost hitting him, he grabs it and pulls it open violently.
Watch it, terrific principal.
Principal Kayak, an accountant or tax collector looking man, thin black suit, red hanky, balding with gray hair. Where hair is left stands in the doorway.
I will watch you carefully, Mr. Grillum. And you. This is not a jungle gym. This is a school property, and you will respect it. Get down.
Andy drops down.
Yes, sir.
We're just heading to history.
What do you know? We are too.
Get to it then.
Principal Kayak stands at the door watching the boys cross the courtyard into their next history class. Interior classroom history. Nathan, Sam, and Joey take their seats at the back of the classroom, forcing Andy and Carlos to take the two remaining seats up front.
At least we'll pay better attention.
Andy looks back. Nathan gives him the "I'm watching you" gesture.
Yeah.
Sam and Joey imitate.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
Andy has a confused look on his face. He looks back again, but this time only halfway. It is the girl from PE sitting next to him. She smiles. He smiles back and quickly looks away. Carlos slides Andy a note. Andy opens it. All it says is "crush" in a big heart. Andy crumples it and gives Carlos a swift punch.
Love hurts.
Mr. Eduardo, The middle-aged, slightly overweight teacher that has been sitting at his desk in the front of the class reading this whole time puts his book down and stands up.
All right, historians, open your books to page 1, or chapter 1, page 12.
A sweet voice whispers in Andy's ear. All he sees is a strand of hair dyed purple from Polly Bauer, the girl sitting next to him from his PE class.
Excuse me, I haven't picked up my book yet. Can I share with you?
Oh, she's frozen.
Of course, no problem.
Polly scoots her desk closer to Andy.
I'm Polly.
I'm Andy.
Nice to meet you.
Polly leans in and looks over the textbook. Andy takes in the grape shampoo. She smiles. They follow along in the text. Interior hospital afternoon. The patient's wife pushes her husband's wheelchair through the busy hospital to the reception desk. One child on his lap, the other holding the chair handle. She hands papers to the reception nurse.
Here are my husband's discharge papers.
Excuse me a sec.
The reception nurse takes the papers to Dr. N.
Doctor, did you sign this patient's release?
Yes, is there a problem?
Well, it's just very irregular, and the hospital would be responsible if...
He and his family signed a release.
But doctor...
Cindy, look at them. They just want to be together at home as a family for the time he has left. It's not at this hospital. And who are we to deny that?
Samuel, sometimes you care too much.
Cindy, the receptionist nurse, returns to her station and releases the patient.
Here you go. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Thank you.
The patient's wife hugs her husband, and their family rolls out of this hospital with smiles on their faces. Dr. N catches up to them. Exterior hospital day. Dr. N catches up to the family. He hands the mother a scrap of paper that she quickly puts into her coat pocket.
Meet me there, 6 o'clock.
Thank you, doctor.
She gives him a hug.
No, don't thank me yet. I'm not sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for trying.
Who wants ice cream?
Yay! The family gets into their car. Dr. N goes back into the hospital. Interior classroom history. Dr. Eduardo is writing on the chalkboard.
Here's your homework. Any questions? And I'll see you Wednesday. Go make history.
Students pack up.
Thanks again for sharing your book with me.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Andy puts his book into the backpack and notices that Polly's backpack is open, showing a history book. He smiles and ignores it.
Come on, let's get out of here before the goons can figure out how to zip up their backpacks.
Carlos and Andy rush out of the classroom.
The monkeys are leaving.
Joey, keep an eye on him.
Why me?
Go.
Exterior schoolyard day. Joey looks out the door. They're nowhere to be seen. Nathan and Sam meet up with them.
So where are they?
They're gone. On top of their history classroom, Andy and Carlos lay on the roof, leaning on their sides.
Good thing we brought our lunches.
Yep.
Interior hospital afternoon. Dr. N rushes from room to room, helping patients and looking at his watch. Exterior schoolyard day. Andy and Carlos meet up. They watch the bullies go one way, and they hop over the opposite school wall. Polly sees this. She discreetly follows. Joey notices her sneaking around the corner. Guys, what's she doing?
Who cares? She's weird.
Let's check it out.
The bullies follow. They gang catch up to Polly.
What's so interesting?
That is. Oh, yeah.
This is going to be sweet. Andy and Carlos appear to be cornered by the back wall of the school. The bullies strut toward them.
Hey.
Incoming!
Talk to you later.
I don't see any trees, monkey boys.
This city's a concrete jungle. That was pretty lame, huh?
Pretty much.
From a distance, Polly shakes her head in agreement.
Not as lame as your face is about to look.
Nice.
Thanks. Get Banana Boy.
Nathan swings. Andy dodges. He swings again. Andy dodges the other direction. Sam and Joey rush Carlos from both sides and grab his arms. Carlos smashes Joey's foot. Both Sam and Joey put a foot on Carlos while holding an arm.
Stop it.
Mr. Edward is on the other side of the building, hears this. Nathan swings toward Andy. Slow motion, Andy pulls his head back as the fist comes him. The fist just barely grazes the tip of his nose. Andy drops to the ground, knocked out. Nathan is stunned. Yay!
Andy,
Nathan realizes what it looks like. Turns to Carlos.
Imagine my fist is a banana. Open wide.
Polly starts a mad dash for Nathan.
what's going on here?
This stops Polly in her tracks. Sam and Joey let go of Carlos.
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Eduardo notices Andy laying limp on the ground.
Polly, get the nurse.
Mr. Eduardo rushes to Andy and takes his pulse. Mr. Eduardo.
He seems fine. Don't move.
Interior ice cream shop afternoon. The family sits eating ice cream. All of them share. It's a perfect day, sort of smiles. The mother checks the time. Interior school office. The bullies are sitting outside the principal's office. Andy is carried into the nurse's office by the school nurse, Carlos and Polly. Polly exits, shaking her head at the bullies. Sam drops his eyes. Nurse's office. Andy is lying on the bed. Next to him is Carlos and the school nurse, Nurse Lanny. She is thin and in her young 20s, the sweetest voice, but has been forced to be very firm to prevent the boys from getting out of class just to see her. She's checking Andy's vitals.
So, what happened?
A groggy Andy opens his eyes.
Yeah. What happened?
You don't know?
Not really. I mean, I was dodging Nate's punches, and then one skinned my nose, and that's the last thing I remember.
That's about it. Don't know if he hit you or not, but you just dropped to the ground. How cold?
No, I mean, he didn't hit me. I must have.
Blacked out. It's a defense mechanism common in the animal world.
Okay. Is there anything I can do about it?
Well, if this keeps happening, you should go see your doctor.
Okay. Thank you, nurse.
Yes, thank you. We really appreciate it. If there's anything I could do to show you, you just let me know.
Interior school office. Andy and Carlos leave the nurse's office. Andy walks straight out the door. Carlos looks at the bullies. They look back. Carlos winks. Ooh, this boils their blood.
Carlo.
Nurse Laney comes out. The boys recompose themselves.
Yes, Carlos. Goodbye.
Nurse Laney walks into the principal's office. You can see them talking behind the glass, but hear nothing. Exterior schoolyard day. Andy walks out of the building. Polly, who has been patiently waiting by the door, gets up and catches him.
Well, that was embarrassing, huh?
Andy is surprised and embarrassed.
Yeah. Thanks.
Andy picks up his pace. Polly takes a step, then stops. Carlos runs out and past her with a hop and a step.
See ya, Polly.
Interior school office.
You boys are very lucky.
The boy smiles.
Not that lucky, but you're very lucky he wasn't seriously injured. That I don't have to expel you or get the police involved.
The boy's smile fades.
You each have a week of detention.
But what
Starting now. Sir, I have practice I'll be late for. Well, you can explain that to your coach. You're late. I'll call your parents. I'll even write you a note if you like. No, that's all right.
In walks Mr. Eduardo.
Come on, boys.
He leads the bullies out. Interior classroom history. The bullies sit at their desks in detention. Nathan looks out the window to where the situation just took place. Is that a look of regret? Then Andy and Carlos enter his view smiling and laughing.
Mr. Eduardo.
Yes, Nathan.
Nathan looks out the window and sees Carlos and Andy hop onto seemingly insignificant objects over the once thought impenetrable wall, and it looks like Andy winks right at him. Mr. Eduardo comes up to Nathan and looks out the window.
What is it?
Nothing.
Boys and lady, I believe it is fitting that this detention is held in the history classroom. Those that don't learn from their mistakes
Are destined to repeat them.
That's right. And I'm sorry, but seeing you in class is quite enough.
Exterior building tops. Carlos looks back at Andy. He is stopped.
All right?
Yeah, something just got my eye.
Well, come on.
Andy catches up.
Oh, and remind me to never ask you to back me up in a fight.
Hey, punk.
Andy punches Carlos in the arm. Carlos takes off as Andy chases. Andy catches up. They turn a corner and there's Polly. Carlos and Andy freeze.
I just wanted to say sorry.
What?
How'd you?
Sorry, those goons followed me to you and that I said that thing about being embarrassing.
Andy starts walking away.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they got in trouble, so it's all good.
Yeah, see you around.
Andy drops off the side of the building and Carlos follows. Polly is left standing there alone.
See ya.
Interior hospital afternoon. Dr. Hen sits at the patient's bedside.
I'll be here the whole time.
A nurse, clearly out of breath, stops in the hallway.
Doctor, you're needed in...
Are you good?
The patient nods their head. Dr. N pats their hand.
Okay, nurse, where are we going?
Exterior building tops. Carlos and Andy parkour across a few buildings and stop to take a break.
So what do you think about that new girl?
I think she's trouble. I mean, she's cute, but...
I think we have company.
Andy turns around and Polly is standing there.
Oh, are you following us?
I don't know.
Well, don't. You might get hurt.
Andy takes off, running toward the opposite edge of the building.
How did you... see ya.
Carlos follows Andy and Polly follows them. Andy jumps. He doesn't get a solid foot on the edge of the building and he slips and falls.
Andy!
Carlos is going too fast and is too close to the edge. He jumps and makes it. Polly has time to stop. She and Carlos look down the edges of the building to see Andy bounce off air conditioners and other protrusions till he makes it to the pavement.
Oh no.
Carlos jumps from the edge to the fire escape, to some pipes and slides down, off an air conditioner, to the fire escape and drops to the ground. Polly has followed on her side of the building.
Andy! Andy!
Is he?
He's breathing. We have got to get him to the hospital.
I'll call 911.
Polly takes out her phone. Carlos reaches to pick Andy up.
No, you shouldn't move him.
Carlos freezes. Interior hospital evening. Dr. N is picking up his coat and papers from a desk as he briskly walks past without stopping.
Night, Karen.
Nurse Karen, a heavier, outspoken Black woman, turns around from her filing with a confused look.
Good night, doctor.
Dr. N, almost to the double doors. The double doors open and in rush EMT1, an attractive, fit, mid-20s man pushing unconscious Andy on a stretcher, followed by a worried Carlos and crying Polly. A nurse rushes up to meet them.
He fell off of a building, bruised ribs, head contusion.
Doctor?
Dr. N stops in his tracks just outside the double doors without looking back. He sighs and looks at his phone. He turns around and comes back in.
All right, get him to operating room 3. I'll wash up.
You got it.
Who's going to fill in his information?
I know, and I will.
Interior operating room 3. Andy lays unconscious on the operating table. Dr. N is spurting out medical jargon. Operating nurse prepares a needle.
Doctor, I can't.
Here, there's no time. Give it to me.
Dr. N tries to give Andy the shot. The needle bends. He tries another. It bends.
Darn these cutbacks.
Dr. N gets another needle from the nurse this time. They approach slowly and gently. The needle enters, and they're in business. Montage of hands passing utensils and devices. Interior. Hospital night. Carlos and Polly sit anxiously in the waiting room. Dr. N walks by.
Doctor, excuse me.
Dr. N turns around.
Right, your friend, he's going to be fine. Turned out to be not nearly as extensive as we originally thought.
Oh, thank goodness.
Can we see him? Can he go home? Surprisingly, I think he can, but we just want to keep him overnight just as a precaution.
Thank you.
Room? Nurse can assist you with that.
Carlos and Polly rush to the receptionist. Dr. N leaves. Interior hospital room. Carlos and Polly enter the empty room.
Is this the right room?
Yeah, room 206.
Where is he?
Andy pulls back the curtain and finishes buckling his belt.
Andy!
Carlos gives Andy a hug, then punches him in the arm.
Punk?
I'm glad you're okay.
Thanks. So are you ready to go?
The doctor said they wanted you to observe you overnight.
Only as a precaution.
Look, Polly, I'm fine.
Andy lifts the side of his shirt. Nothing there. He tilts his head toward her. Nothing.
I just must have blacked out again.
Okay, you and your defense mech.
Interior hospital night. Andy, Carlos, and Polly exit the hospital.
I knew you'd bounce back. You always do.
You've done this before?
Well, he's a bit of a klutz.
Andy punches him in the arm.
Yeah, oops. You know my clumsiness.
Polly giggles. Exterior hospital back entrance night. Dr. N arrives to the empty loading dock. He waits. He notices the patient's car. Someone is in it. He runs up to it. His patient is face down on the steering wheel.
Mr. Gretchko! Mr. Gretchko!
Dr. N feels for a pulse. He opens the door and lifts his patient up.
Everything's going to be okay.
Interior laboratory. Dr. N is strapping his patient to the table, hooking him up to the IVs and machines. He takes a capsule from the spinning machine out of the freezer. He looks at his patient in the monitors. Dr. N extracts some of the liquid into the needle. He places a drop under a microscope.
I think maybe...
Dr. N grabs a vial, looks back into the microscope.
So close.
Dr. N notices the heart monitor is slowing down.
No.
Dr. N shoots the vial into the IV. As the liquid gets closer and closer to his body, the heartbeat gets slower and slower.
Oh, come on.
Solution enters the patient. The heartbeats continue to decrease. Dr. N sighs. The heartbeat starts to normalize. The patient opens his eyes.
It's working.
The patient smiles and gently closes his eyes. Suddenly, his eyes pop open wide. The heart monitor is going crazy. His back arches and convulses. Dr. N rushes to his cabinet, frantically pushing the different vials around. Some crash onto the floor. He finds the one he was looking for, sucks it into a needle. With black veins, the patient shakes. From the injection site, his body is turning black and ashy.
This should help, I hope.
Dr. N thrusts the needle into the patient's arm. It continues all the way through without much resistance. His skin poofs off into an ashy dust cloud and attaches to the needle. Attached to the needle is black goo. Not knowing what's going on, Dr. N backs up. The patient screams in agony. A chain reaction across his body and skin disintegrates into ash cloud as the black glue underneath bubbles. The black, gooey patient closes his glowing eyes and his smoking body goes limp. The goo drops out of the restraints and toward the floor. Suddenly, they're sucked back into the rough form of a body. The patient looks up at Dr. N, swooshes out of the restraints and pushes Dr. N against the door off the floor.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that this was going to happen. I said it was experimental.
The gooey patient tries to talk, but just sounds and smoke come out.
At least you're still alive.
You can mute.
Alive.
I'll find a solution. I will make an antidote. I promise.
Dropping Dr. N, the gooey patient folds, flops, and slides himself out the laboratory exit. Dr. N reaches for him, then drops exasperated to the ground. Exterior hospital back entrance night. The recently transformed patient slips along the side of the laboratory, switching between a puddle, smoke, and shadows until he apparently vanishes. Exterior home front door, night. Andy takes his hand off the handle and turns around to face Carlos and Polly on the steps.
Thanks, guys, for looking out for me.
Always, bro.
I'll see you at school tomorrow. And don't worry, I'll bring my own book.
It's all right. You can share mine.
Andy, get in here.
Thanks again, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Andy closes the door behind him. Carlos and Polly walk away. Interior laboratory. Dr. N pulls himself up to his desk.
Okay, what went wrong?
Exterior neighborhood street, night. A shadow slides up the side of a tree. A smoking and dripping shadow pulls and forms off the tree. Glowing eyes look across the street into the window. Inside, his family sits on the couch under lamp light, looking through the photo albums. A drip of goop slides out of the glowing eye, dropping to the ground and evaporating into smoke, rejoining with the rest of him. Swoosh, down off the tree and away. Interior family room, night. The patient's wife puts the photo album down and walks to the window.
Mom, what is it?
Oh, I felt like someone was there. Huh. Guess it was nothing.
Exterior neighborhood street, night. The patient's wife closes the curtains. Interior laboratory. Dr. N closes a file, checks a few items on the computer, looks back into his microscope at the blood. He sees how it changes. This causes him to sit up and think. Interior hospital, night. Flashback. Dr. N recalls the needle's not working. Then it working. He remembers throwing the used needle into the biohazard bin. Interior laboratory. Dr. N leaves immediately, his chair spinning and blood cell being taken over, cycling on his computer screen. Interior hospital, night. Dr. N rushes in, ignoring the common greetings, and right past reception and down the hall. Interior reception room, 3. Dr. N rushes in, flipping open the lids to the biohazard container. It's empty. Interior hospital, night. Dr. N returns to the receptionist.
What happened to the hazardous materials?
Or they were picked up and disposed of.
Can you get me the file of that kid that was in here tonight?
Is everything all right?
I think so. I hope so. I just need to check something.
Here it is.
The receptionist hands him the file. Dr. N snatches it from her hand while turning around in a single swoop.
Thank you.
Dr. N leaves the hospital and the receptionist in bewilderment. Exterior neighborhood street, night. Dr. N stops his car. He double checks the address on the file to the home outside his passenger car window. He throws the file on the passenger seat and puts the car in park. Dr. N knocks on the front door. It opens. Only can see Dr. N.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Dr. Negatensi. I performed a procedure on your son earlier this evening.
Buster, get down here right now. You have some explaining to do.
What did I do?
The door opens more. Joey, tuna past, steps out. Who's this?
I'm sorry. There must have been a mix-up on the paperwork.
Now visible, Joey Tuna Past's mom, a very pale and extra skinny woman with greasy hair, a cigarette in one hand and a beer in the other. Get back in here and go to bed. Joey's mom's hand slaps the back of his head. Go on. Joey's mom closes the door behind him. Dr. N, with shoulders dropped, slowly walks back to his car. Interior Andy's bedroom. Andy sleeps soundly. Pull out to reveal a large moon over the city in the distance. Exterior neighborhood street, night. In his car, Dr. N puts Andy's file down and picks up his other patient's file.
I promise. I promise.
Fade out. To be continued.
Cool.
Nice.
All right.
All right, so we have thoughts.
It's cool. I like the back and forth between the kids and the doctor and that, so it kind of really keeps the pace up really fast. Yeah, I thought the kids, I was kind of like trying to figure out what age they were, because they were saying they were like, are they seniors or sophomores and that. So I was like, oh wait, high school. And then I was like, wait, but they're talking about lunch money and stuff. Like, this sounds like a younger kids thing. So that was a weird kind of I wasn't really sure what age we're looking at, but that was just kind of a food for thought there. Otherwise, I really liked it. That was cool.
Some high school kids do have lunch monies.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
At the beginning, they said 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, did they? Oh, I missed that. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
I was just about to look there. Yeah.
I was really intrigued as to what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does this kid have some sort of superpowers, or are they all just aliens of some type, since they can jump and do extraordinary things and walk up the sides of buildings and do parkour and things like that? So what's the deal with that?
I was getting that feeling too, kind of a superhero vibe from it.
Yeah, I thought it was just parkour, kids that were good with parkour, but he's got something because that blood or that the very
Like
end.
the length between the distance between a building is a lot. So
Yeah. I think they were just doing parkour is how I read it, for sure. Like, that they're really good at parkour. I think the dad even mentions it or something near the beginning. Something about parkour. So they're very much like, that's their jam. But yeah, there's a couple of things where it was like, well, there's something up with this kid already before he even got potentially injected with something. Like when the 2 needles didn't work, it was like, oh, that feels like a Superman moment. But then apparently the 3rd needle was what had something in it, so that was interesting.
Yeah, definitely added a little bit of intrigue in there. There's one line that was super, super awesome. When the wife cries out that he's dying, and then in the action descriptions, Jacob wrote, "As the honest truth echoes down the hallway." I just thought that was a badass line, really well written.
Yeah.
I felt the whole script was actually very polished from a writer's point of view, and trying to segregate things out and putting things in its place. I thought that was very clean. It was good description and short on character voices and stuff like that. It was to the point. I really liked that.
Yeah, something I really enjoyed, the 2 separate stories unfolding, and they were both really well developed, the kids, and then the end showing how they come together.
There was a good A plot and a B plot, with the A plot with the kids and then the B plot with the patient, the dying patient. So that's what.
And then like Carlos trying to hit on the hot school nurse.
That was cute.
Super funny.
Yeah.
Well played, Jacob. Well played.
Jacob is messaging me, which he's not supposed to. He says, "Give your harshest criticism. Tell him how he can improve it."
Okay, Jacob, you need to work on your spelling and punctuation, and that's the harshest criticism I've got for you. So as a journalist, as a writer, that's the harshest criticism I can come up with, and I'm sorry it's not harsher. I can try and find harsher if you want, but it's just not there.
Yeah.
So take the compliment. I know it's just difficult, but take it.
Yeah, the only thing I got is the last little part where where there's like the series of shots and you use scene headings. It's totally fine and right. I don't know why I didn't like it visually, I guess. I don't know why it seemed very overly formatted, I guess. I don't know. It's such a like really, really fine thing. I just like looking at it was like too structural, I guess, which is almost nothing. But yeah, like remember when we did Die Hard and how they had to do those series of shots in various different ways. Maybe like there's, you could do like this is a series of shots and then action descriptions or something like that, or try to break it up. It just seemed like a really long block of exactly the same format, you know. I don't know that, but that's very, very minor. And the last thing I say is you should be honored to have seen Jason dance around in all of his costumes on your script, you know.
And I do have a confusion though. What does the last line mean? I promise what? And what happens to the guy that was just turned into whatever by that medication? Where does he go?
I think he's
that's a good
promising
point.
that he's going to fix it or make it better, but I think that's what I picked up from it. And the other guy, I think he's just, I don't know, he's just a poor ball of goo that's just going to roll around sad in the city for a while.
Yeah. You know, that's a very good point, Heather. Angelina and I were in this writing class
With Heather.
and
I was there too.
oh
Remember?
yeah, that's right, you were. I'm sorry.
Oh,
All
you know,
right.
it's okay. I'm so easily forgotten, but maybe the
Oh,
last
you're
line could have a
not. Come
punch.
on now.
Maybe the last line could have a punch, like, I swear to you that I will fix this.
Yeah.
Like with a
Yeah.
punch.
I wonder if, like, because what they were talking about in there is when you do your character description, right? Or your your character profile. So you go through and answer all these questions to get a backstory on the character, right? And then maybe you don't use all the information that you've created about your character, but it bleeds through in the writing. And I'm kind of curious if maybe in the writing of this, it wasn't clear what the next step was, as far as where you wanted to go with this.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Like, is this guy is this a superhero story? Is this a story of some kind of botched treatment? Is this like segueing into an epidemic or a pandemic like COVID or something? Is it, you know, like, where's it really going? And then some of that urgency of what it would happen would kind of bleed through, like in that last interaction. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'll make it better. Or, I mean, does this guy work for a secret laboratory? This doctor, you know?
Well, he was trying to cure from what I got from it, he was trying to cure this guy of this disease he was going to die from. And I see this on par with the first part of a 2-part episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And this last line should be like, promising to do something about the situation that seems hopeless, followed by this music, like da, 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 or some sort of suspenseful music. I don't know, but that's just me.
Yeah.
There was like one that was super funny that I thought, oh yeah, when Jason delivered this line perfectly, by the way, as Carlos, when he's like, hurry, let's get out of here before these goons figure out how to zip up their backpacks. That was super funny. It's a great line right there, you know? It kind of shows, I mean, that line right there definitely shows a lot of who Carlos is, right? Like, he's like kind of a rebel, kind of a punk, has no respect for, you know, the hierarchy or the social hierarchy. So I thought that was a great line.
Nice.
You know, I'm also wondering about this main character's parents. They don't seem very concerned that this kid is parkouring all over these buildings, free falling. Like, did they just not really notice that this kid was in the hospital and he just suddenly shows up at home in the dark of night? Like, hey, I'm back. By the way, I was in the hospital.
Yeah. And they didn't even
Angelina,
know because they
what's
gave
up,
him the
Mom?
wrong name. They gave him the wrong name, so she never knew
Yeah.
that he was in the hospital.
Like, are they going to address this? Like, your kid was in the hospital. Hello, did you not care? Or
No, they didn't get to know that. They never got
what's with this? Wait, what was with this girl? She mentioned something about his super abilities, and I thought they had really just met because she was a crush that he was watching. How did she know this stuff?
Yeah, and then there's like in the beginning, so this is who I thought Polly was, right? Because there's that like figure in the beginning who's kind of like fades in and out and like follows them for a little bit, right? And so you're like, is that Polly? Is that kind of some superhero? Did she get treated with whatever this is before? Now does she have superpowers?
Well, no, Clint, do you remember the comment she made about his specific super abilities? Like, how did she know that when they had just barely met at the beginning of the story?
She was in the nursing room with them.
No, I mean at the beginning, like when he was watching her and they were commenting on how he had a crush on her and stuff. How did she know? Oh, your super abilities.
I don't remember that. Sorry.
Yeah,
Could always put in some glances from her as well, from her view, looking at him, catching him glancing over or something like that.
Yeah,
Was he
super
like
bad.
spying on him or reconning, like getting recon on him or something?
Yeah, they had her spying on them. He had her spying on them at the beginning.
We need more of this story. We need explanations from the writer.
This is good though. This is why there should be an episode 2.
There should be a series. We need a series. Film some things. Give us all some work. We will come film this with you.
I would say so. I've got a little bit of criticism. I don't know if like take it or not. But I do feel like at 14, the kids were really sweet, and there wasn't much that was bad about them, I would say. And not that kids are bad, but you know, there's a little bit more rebellion, I think, in a lot of 14-year-olds than what we saw here. There was a bit, but I think it could have been pushed even further.
Really, Angelina? Like the same with, like, have you ever seen Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? They were the same way, just sweet, good old kids, and then they were suddenly thrust into roles of saving the world. Go watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, like it could fit just the way that it is. But I'm just thinking about my own kids, and I'm like, I could see them pushing this a little further, because there's the bullies, so you do have that. But then there's also this dark side of things with the hospital, the stuff that's happening at the hospital that's really dark. So I think it could go further than how it is. But that's just my own personal opinion. That's not like this is a fault.
If you say your personal opinion is not important, we're gonna have a chat outside of this. It's not gonna be good.
I mean, it's less important than Jacob's vision for it.
Oh my! So. We're gonna have a talk after this.
It was a great script, Jacob. It was really enjoyable to watch it play out and get the mind wandering around in different directions. I really loved that.
Yeah,
it's really cute.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I think we should bring Jacob back now. What do you think?
Jacob,
come back.
Did he run away?
Thank you guys for reading that and all your feedback. I appreciate it. So,
I hope it wasn't too mean. Like,
not at all. I was asking for more. So,
I can come off really wild and aggressive sometimes, so I'm sorry.
I didn't get any of that at all. So thank you for everything, everyone. Awesome. I guess should we talk about the other ones first in order, or should we talk about this one right now because it's fresh? First, before any of that, everybody gets to introduce who they are and what they're doing in case they have to leave. Like Marven Likness already had to leave.
No, that wasn't Marven. That was
Jerome St Jerome. Sorry, Marven. Jerome St Jerome had to leave. We'll put some of the stuff that he's into probably in the bio, so since he didn't get to say his goodbyes. But for those that are here, Vicki Dykes, please tell us. We learned more about you tonight, that you already did like a cooking show episode, and we know you have something else in the works. Tell us what you're up to.
Well, I'm going to be filming a yoga show at some point in the future, which is not up to me to decide when. You can find me on Instagram and Yogagramma7, and I'm on Facebook under my name, Vicki Dykes. And if you want to message me, I'm bdykes@shaw.ca. I love acting, and if you want to use me, that's how you can get a hold of me.
Awesome. They should. Jason Steele. I missed your dancing. I'm glad this is recorded so I can go back and see that. I don't know if I was watching the person talking, reading the script, taking the notes, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it was something like this. Oh man, what's going on? Well, there's this thing happening. Oh no, it's just kind of funny. It was a blast. Yeah, Jason Steele. I love doing characters, as you can tell, and yeah, I had a blast with this one, with this combination of 3 scripts, and it was really cool to read everybody's stuff. Where can you find me? You can find me on Facebook, Jason Steele. I think it might actually be facebook.com/Mr. Jason Steele or something like that. And my main email address is jason@mrjasonsteele.com. And feel free to reach out. I'm working on a web series right now on the future of film production. I've got a couple of episodes left to do for this the first season, and one is going to be about Web 3.0, cryptocurrency, how that can play into the future of film and film distribution and film funding and all that stuff. And the other one, I haven't nailed down what the other one is, but probably something to do with animation and live rendering and stuff like that, because there's a lot of cool stuff with live rendering stuff. So lots of cool stuff. If you have skills or knowledge in either of those topics, get a hold of me, and who knows, maybe you might be the person that I'm interviewing or one of the people I interview for an episode. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, the man's a gift.
You are, Jason.
Oh, thank you.
With those episodes, are you waiting until they're all done before you release any, or is one out already? Or
so they're all going to be TELUS, are one of our local telecom companies here in Western Canada. They actually have they've given a grant to do these. So that once that they're all 6 of the first season are done, they'll have them on their platform. So probably end of August is when they'll start to release them. And I think they may release them one at a time, or maybe they'll release them all. I'm not sure. They've kind of said both. So maybe it depends on what I say. So we'll see. But yeah, I think that's the plan, is kind of August, end of August is when they're going to start.
well, cool, interesting topics. I look forward to seeing them.
Yeah.
It's Morgan Toll.
Hi. I am a SAG-AFTRA actress, voice actor, author based in New York City. You can find me on Instagram at Morgan Elizabeth Toll.
Sweet. Thank you. And Clint Munroe. I don't know why I always say your name like that. I don't know why, or at least I did today, like both times.
So not that much is new. I have been grinding pretty hard, and in order to stop burning myself out,
Heather, take your mind out of the gutter. Just kidding.
keep it there. I'll grind all
I'll keep
night
it
long.
there. I'm not judging. So
Oh,
grinding hard. Clint Munroe.
Right? No, I needed to get out, so I went up into the mountains at San Bernardino National Forest, found some of my favorite spots, like little hidden gems, and went camping out there for a little bit. It's my way to turn off the phone, turn off society, turn off traffic lights and parking meters and helicopters and all the stuff that is the concrete jungle, and just chill. I did that for a little while, and then I'm just starting to get things back plugged away. But if you guys want to find me, I just started up a simpler profile for Instagram. Just find me as Clint Munroe _, so it's Clint Munroe, and then you can find me there, and then we can communicate, we can talk, we can tell stories, or trade awesome moments of life. So anyways, that's me, and I'll pass it.
Awesome. I really like that picture you shared of like the camera in the foreground with like the sunset in the background and stuff.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That
Is that anywhere people can find it, or no? That one's not.
I'm going to start adding that on. I'm developing a website right now because I have started developing a lot of my photography. And so I want to get that into its little sections. Been studying dog photography since my dog is so photogenic. But no, I shot a concert the other day, and I got some really, really artistic shots. So super excited about that. And yeah, just kind of like going down into that so that people can kind of see, my creative side a little bit more.
Awesome. Heather Lee Cameron.
Okay. That was hilarious.
Still a little bit flustered.
You want us to come back to you?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Oh gosh, I needed to laugh so badly today. Anyway, my name is Heather Leigh Cameron. I am an actress, I'm a writer, I'm a creator. You can find me on my YouTube channel, The Storm and Latter-day Saint, or on my Facebook page, Heather Leigh Freelancer. You can also find me on Facebook, Heather Leigh Cameron, or on Instagram, Heather Leigh Cameron, or on Twitter, Heather Leigh. Actually, no, it's Chameleon777771. You can also find me on Actors Access, IMDb, Backstage, all those wonderful pages. I am looking for work. I've got many years of experience, and I will work very hard for you. Yeah.
So you are everywhere.
Yes,
And-
you can email me at heather.leigh.cameron@gmail.com. It's heather.leigh@gmail.com. Anyway, thank you.
Awesome. And I think you have a link tree as well that has like all of those.
Yes, I do. I think the link tree is broken, but yeah, you can email me. And just so you know, I am a dual citizen of Canada and the United States, so I can work in both countries legally.
Sweet. All right, thank you. And Angelina Peterson, the kind, happy, good mushroom lady.
I feel like we should all slip in some innuendos in our conversation now.
I didn't
No,
mean
I
that for that
just-
to be out an innuendo, but
Just see how red Heather can get.
yeah.
And probably me, because I would just. So, yeah.
Who are you? What are you up to?
I am. So this was actually, I wanted the other script to get up here because that one's more developed. This one was kind of like, I'll just put this so it'll force me to write it more, which was good. It did it. I don't know. I'm just doing stuff, working, taking my kids around the world. Not really, but further down south.
All right. So you're going to do some traveling with your kid.
Yep. Yep. Gonna.
Potentially some filming or something
Yeah.
while you do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to doing stuff. You got
Yeah.
some things involved.
Gonna
in
do
it as well?
stuff. Gonna like get out there and do stuff and
Yeah.
think and
It's
learn.
good to also live life.
Oh yeah. See things. I'll see things.
You'll hear things.
I'll hear things. Might even smell things. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm gonna hug Heather. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna hug Heather because she wanted a hug the other day.
You guys need a video or a picture of that. We need to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We at TRT aim to please.
TRT in person.
Yep.
Sweet. So cool.
That's my story.
All right. And Dee, how about you? Tell us about you, what you do, what you're up to, and all that, what you're going to do, all that jazz.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to be here. I was kind of just flipping through some Facebook groups and this popped up in my recommended and I was like, that's really cool. What is this? And I was kind of lurking for a while and then I was like, you know what? I'll just send my stuff in. And so I'm really glad to be here. I'm an actor and somewhat of a writer based in New York. I'll be moving down to the city in the fall for college, which is exciting. But yeah, and then you can find me on Instagram at Dee Slavin with a K. And then hopefully I'll be getting my new Play Exchange account up and running. So you can find my plays and stuff on there. But other than that, yeah, I'm just kind of doing fun little random things. It's really great. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
That's awesome. We're so happy that you could join us. And Marven, Likness.
Hi, nice to meet you all. Well, most of you are actually already know. But yeah, you can find me easy enough by Googling my name because I have a very special spelling of my name. Marven is with an E instead of an I. That's a Norwegian thing. And Likness, think of likeness without the middle E. So one with an E, one without an E. And also too, if you forget all that, you can find me on Facebook as The Pool Shark, all one word, and I'll pop right up. I'm constantly on stuff. Usually when I go to bed on Sunday night, I have nothing planned for the week, and then I end up in about 5 or 6 different projects throughout the week, and my wife doesn't see me. So I'm a writer, I'm an actor. I've loaned out props to features in my area. I've been doing a lot of droning this summer, so I do a lot of aerial cinematography. I'm actually going to be covering 2 festivals in the area. I've also been working for a bunch of different contractors doing basically time lapses of houses as they get built. And another kind of a neat side project is Worship on the Map Alberta. You can find that on Facebook. And what I do is I go around the countryside and I take different scenic shots of country churches is what I'm trying to do. I also do camps and that kind of thing. So life is full. I was doing some work there with Jason Steele, so hopefully that worked out. I don't know if I gave him anything that he could use, but we're hoping anyway.
You sent me some good stuff. I haven't finished editing, but it was there was a lot of gold in there. I really appreciate it. It was great.
Right on. Thank you. I also have kind of an exciting script. It's just a short, but I found out this summer it's going to be produced in Australia by somebody who lives in normally resides in India, who was a New York film student in 2020, graduate in 2020. So I think that's some really good news. I'm looking forward to having that out.
It is. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. But yeah, no, I'm having a lot of fun in film in the area. There's a lot of great projects I just kind of trip onto and find myself on set. Take a couple of days of work off here and there so I can get things done, but enjoying the roller coaster ride of film.
Awesomeness. Awesome. Now I noticed we forgot one of the members here. It's like a lot of fur on it. We need to introduce and hear about that.
Yeah, where can we
TRT.
catch Moldar? Is he on Instagram now?
Who is that cutie? Man.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Attention.
He did act yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
cute.
Actor.
Oh, he's a star. All right.
Oh, can I just cuddle your puppy and kiss it?
Is he like a weeboo sensation, like taking over Chinese social media?
Good.
What is it? Like what kind?
He's a Chihuahua.
Oh.
A good one. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you, everybody for helping everyone else being here, bringing your amazing skills and talents. And yeah, this has been awesome. So if anybody has to leave, then again, thank you for coming. I know it's late for some of you. So good night. The rest of us will still talk about the scripts a little bit more, where we can ask some questions, answer some things. But all right. Good night. And thank you.
Good night,
lady.
everyone. Not
All right. Yeah. All right.
I loved all 3 very much. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Vicki. Thank you for everything. We actually are finishing much earlier than usual. Like, I mean, even though we're not done yet, even getting to this point is a lot earlier than usual.
Yeah, we seem to get a lot of like 120-page scripts or something. I don't know what happens there, but yeah, this it's a little shorter night. That's all right.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, next year we're gonna do a lot more TV episodes than just one episode per table read. So there'll be.
Well, this contest, you got lucky. Next contest, I'll be putting in something, so y'all be
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh man.
I like it. Look forward to it. In 3 more months. So 3 months to polish it.
Yeah, 3 months.
So just curious, did tonight's go live on Facebook? Because I shared the wrong one and I can't find it.
It should have. I did not double check.
But anyway,
I'm probably just not looking at
I
the
have
right
a
spot.
question for the writers.
Maybe not. I normally have a notification and I don't see a notification from it.
Oh.
So
I have a question for the writers who are still here. What did you think of our feedback? Please don't kill us.
I wanted
Oh,
more.
it's that hug that Angelina was talking about, huh?
What's
There's
that?
the
Yeah.
knife in the back.
Yeah, I would like to hear more because I guess it's hard because the topic that mine is like people maybe don't get a lot of it. So
what do you mean?
oh well,
mushrooms.
the mushrooms, yeah. It's like
I felt
Well, I
super bad that I botched the name of the mushroom.
oh no, that's okay.
Angelina's probably the only one here that knows how to really say I had no clue. Like when you're reading, I'm like, I have no clue how I would say that. So and I botched a bunch of stuff, but
Yeah, that's all right.
I don't think that matters too much. Like again, with I forget the title at the moment, but the hugely popular chess show. Like before that, like no one would think, oh, no one's going to want to watch chess and listen to chess. So it being mushrooms, I don't think matters at all. And
Okay.
personally, I think
Interesting story about that. The Queen's Gambit.
That's it.
That guy, I think he wrote that script. I remember reading that he had wrote that like 10 years before and shopped it around, and
20
everybody's
years.
like, that's stupid. Nobody's going to want to watch it. It's dumb. And he just kept sitting there and kept pushing and plugging away at it, you know? And then even like, remember we were talking about Superbad the last couple weeks, how they started that when they were kids, you know?
Right, 13, just however old, yeah.
Stories, man.
See, so someone might not see the gem in your mushroom thing at first, but then someone's going to see it and then it's going to blow up and then everyone's going to be mushroom hunters and stuff.
Yeah.
So what was it about? Just some guy taking psychedelics and then stumbling on a house and needing to be taken care of?
Well, yeah, no, it was a couple that two people meet in a forest and as they're hunting for mushrooms, and she knows all about it and he doesn't, and he eats something that he shouldn't have, a poisonous mushroom, and ends up having a psychedelic night, and so she ends up taking him home, tucking him into bed and trying to leave him there to sober up for the night, and and then by morning they've become close, and it looks like it's going to turn into a relationship, as maybe if it's a series continues on. Does that sound about right, Angelina? I was kind of
honestly, I think it's if I could give you any feedback, it's just like build it a little bit more from the inside.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit more, just make it longer, like a little bit more interactions, a little bit deeper interactions. Because I mean, you've got the beginning, middle, and end, and they're all great, and it's super funny, especially how she's like a little mushroom girl. That'd be hilarious, man. I mean, that's not what my experiences were like, but here's for thinking,
Yeah.
So what were your? Do you have other plans for it, Angelina? What are your plans? Where do you see it going or not?
Okay, so
If you want to say, if you want to keep it a secret, you do.
This awesome friend of mine had this idea that I should write a script about kind of a love story around these guys, mushrooms. Like I'm just a little.
There you go. We're gonna have to switch out the other pictures, and that's gonna have to be yours.
Yeah. And so it's two of my scripts I wrote quickly, no problem, like very little. And this one, it's been like a year and a half, and I've been plugging away, not really, just thinking, how am I going to do this or what? I don't know, putting it off, all that. So this contest came up, and I thought, like I'd written, we actually, Jacob helped me a little or a lot with a 3-pager last year. So I kind of incorporated that and then just built on that a little just to see if something could come out of it. But the actual story that I have for a feature, I don't know if it has this in it at all. I've got like 4 totally different starts. But I wanted to hear how this one went. So
It was a very good work.
thanks.
Cool.
I think some of it worked, some of it maybe not. So
One thing I find as a writer is you have to find a way to ask your mind a question and then let it rest on it, let it think on it. One trick I do is I'll write some questions or concerns that I have about a script, and I'll read that just before I go to bed, and I'll do this a couple of nights in a row. I'll read that what I'm trying to fix, and then I go to sleep, and then all of a sudden one of the nights I'll maybe only sleep about half a night. I'll be up in 3 o'clock in the morning, and my mind has thought about it, and it'll just rattle right out of me. I'll just throw a whole bunch of garbage on a page, and then I try to sift her through it in the next week. But I don't know if that'll help you or not, but I know that's helped me in the past.
something
That's
to
awesome.
try.
Well, do you know what will help you
Writer's
more?
brain, man. You're like sitting down in the middle of the night and you're like half tired, or you're still super tired. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. All you want to do is get back to sleep. And then that idea is just like, no, dude. No, I got to tell you this. Oh, what about this? Oh my gosh, this idea is even better. Oh my, and you're like, all right, shit, I'll get up, you know.
A lot of
When you write 3 hours, you know.
a lot of writers go for walks to help them, and what you're explaining, Marvin, is kind of like, I think theta that and Albert Einstein used to try and do this, or other people do that, where they held something in their hand, where if they're about to fall asleep, like that'll wake them up, because they wanted to stay in that spot between like being awake and asleep, that like where the mind does whatever.
But not actually fall asleep.
Do you know what will help you the most, Angelina?
Yeah.
Don't
I
be
wanna
so
hear.
critical of the fact that your basic idea works, and now you've understood that your basic idea works, and it's a really good idea. Now you just got to focus on building the basic idea so it works even better. Don't be critical of yourself, because that's only going to serve as a barrier to building your very good basic idea. Do you understand?
Okay.
I just want to give a special shout out to Jacob for giving a clean, healthy, and sober way to experience a mind-altering state while there's mushrooms present on the screen.
You mean
That was
Angelina?
awesome.
Yeah.
Trying to hold up something and then try not to fall asleep. That was very
Oh.
good. That was very clean, you know.
Very true. I want to hear your ideas for your script. Like, did you write more than just this first episode? I
Yeah,
know
it
you've
was
got the ideas, but
It was great to hear where people thought it was going to go, and like, oh, they got that impression. Since that wasn't where I thought it was going to go, like I should maybe correct it a little bit so people won't get that impression,
okay.
or just in a future episode answer it. To
And
answer
sometimes the impression will open up a whole new storyline at the same time.
Totally, it totally could. To answer your question, Angelina, no, I have I viewed this as animation. We never mentioned that, and it could be either, but I viewed it as animated series. And I have like a 5-season arc, planned, and even what I would want to have and after that, it would turn into a, what's that called, where they keep doing procedural. So 5-season like story arc, then it turns into a procedural, and then I had like an idea for the final episode, whenever that may be. But most of you were right that I saw this as like the beginning of a superhero type thing. So I'll just give it away here, but I'm not giving it away. I still own it, but just kidding. But I'll mention it here. He does have a defense mechanism that his body will adapt in whatever way it is to need to save himself. So I did have this person animate like a little animatic of a storyboard, like of it starting where he fell off like a building, and then his body might turn to like rubber where it like bounces up or something, or it might turn to like super solid and he goes through the ground. He's like rock or something. So his body will be able to adapt to whatever the thing is. And the thing with the doctor is he cares so much, and he's so passionate that he becomes obsessive about it to try and get this kid's blood that has this in it, like that can protect people, because he feels like this could help everybody and solve like all diseases, all sicknesses. And so he wants to catch this kid and get this to help him. And now that he has his work in progress thing that turns this guy into like a smoke tar creature, he does that a little more often, and starts to build this army to try and go after this kid. And so as the kid is developing his powers more and stuff. So that's it. Now,
so that it's like a greater good versus the child. Is the
like
child
he's not like
going to be hurt if they take what he has to offer?
Well, they never just talk about it, so he doesn't even know. He just knows these bad things are coming after him, and this guy wants to catch them.
It sounds like an updated version of Alex Mack almost. Has anybody heard of the Secret World of Alex Mack? It sounds like an updated version of that almost.
Alex
You
Mack.
always bring up obscure shows that I've never heard before.
I'm a 90s child. Of course, my mother let me watch
Not
it.
in the 90s.
Similar to Alex Mack. I'll have to check that out.
The Secret World of Alex Mack. It was about this teenage girl who, on the first day of school, she was walking to school. This truck had this accident and spilled all this chemical on her, and she ended up developing these special powers. And then she ended up having this plant trying to pursue her, but nobody knew who she was, and only her sister knew that she was contaminated with this stuff, and her best friend. And they tried to help her develop her powers, and all this interesting stuff happened to her. So you should really look that up, and maybe it will help inspire you to develop your series. And
thank you.
By the way, were there positive things you got out of it? Because I want you to find positive things.
I was just gonna say
you and Angelina have the same bad habit about you struggle to find positive things about yourselves and your work. So take the advice I gave to Angelina and apply it to yourself, please.
I will try. Thank you. And I did I like that your line about usually when we're getting feedback, we don't want to be specific, but I actually liked your specificity of I swear I will fix this. It's better just than I promise, a little obscure. I do think that is clearer, stronger.
It's like you're beginning like a climax. The end of the episode is the beginning of a crisis resolution episode. It's like the beginning of a two-parter Power Rangers. You end with the crisis without a solution, and you're going into the second part of an episode. Oh, here's a crisis resolution.
And as everyone was reading it, I caught what you caught, Heather, as well. It's wait, they did talk about the defense mechanism. That was in the nurse office, like everyone was saying, but she wasn't there, and we never saw how she would have heard them say that. Maybe something happened off screen, on the way to the hospital or something else, but that was never actually said where she could hear it in the script that we read. So I do feel like I might have to change that.
Who's the girl, or was that a script error?
What girl? No.
Who was Polly really? That she was oh, how did she know this? Or was
no, she shouldn't have known that, or she got it off screen. But I agree. I don't like that. I think I should show that.
It's like a Mary Sue complex, and Mary Sue's never makes stories fun.
Okay. No, she's just very, very awesome, super talented new girl. That's
By the way, a Mary Sue is a character in a story that knows everything and can do everything, outshining the other characters constantly. It's a fan fiction term.
Oh, thank you. I did not know that.
That's cool. I'm actually writing that down right now, Heather, in my notebook of notes.
I've been a writer since I was 6 years old. You learn a heck of a lot since if you've been writing since you were 6 years old. I had my first publishing at 6 years old. So
one thing I kind of like when I was listening to the story and stuff, and I was thinking of maybe possible future episodes, maybe having different ways that people accidentally get his blood. Maybe somebody cuts and maybe the girlfriend or maybe tries to lick the wound or some sort of let's be blood brothers, or different ways of transmitting the blood, but people not knowing what's going to happen when they do.
That actually might be interesting. Yeah, if one of his childhood friends or something who has the same thing, and then they realize that's what it's from, that'd be kind of cool.
Or maybe he uses the powers that he has to inadvertently help something else, or maybe he develops more powers and he has to try and learn how to use them and control them, and somebody is able to help him do that, like his friend or something, maybe borrow a few things from Alex Mack. I don't know.
Or let's say that
Alex Mack.
It's a good show.
I haven't heard that in so long.
Another thought is maybe the kid goes and donates blood, and then all of a sudden you get a whole bunch of random people that get their powers.
Well, that
It's an-
definitely
it's
sounds like a
instant-
season 3 thing for sure.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, Power Rangers, like a thing of Protectors develops, like they have to keep it secret or something.
Yeah, that's something that happens later, at least in the current plan of the seasons, is like when he is discovered and now his family and friends are all at risk and what he does then or not. But
Well,
the normal
yeah, I mean,
Superman
like
thing.
with Mark's character, right? I don't know if he's a father or a stepfather, but obviously seems like he's a stepfather if his name's Mark. So there's a whole backstory as to like maybe there's a dad out there that like started this whole thing and is going to come
Well,
back and teach him.
That's true. Maybe there's a dad with these powers and he left because he had these powers and he was worried about, passing this on to this kid. And guess what? The kid develops them too. And maybe he has to come back and teach this kid, oh, I have to teach you how to deal with your powers or something. Or maybe he kidnaps the kid because he's worried that this kid will come to harm or something. I don't know.
Cool.
I'm just
Question for you guys. Did you guys feel like there was enough going on, or it wasn't like too much just kids in school and talking? Because again, maybe it's that thing you're talking about, Heather. Well, when you're watching someone else do stuff and or overly critical, I'm like, everyone looks bored. Maybe not enough stuff has happened soon enough, or it's not
because
interesting.
that's perfectly normal. Like that's how a superhero thing develops usually. Have you even seen Power Rangers or Alex Mack or something? That's how superheroes are born. That's how Power Rangers started. They were kids in a youth center just relaxing, and all of a sudden, like elsewhere, these astronauts on the moon opened this container and they let out the supervillain, and then all of a sudden Zordon on the command center said, find me some teenagers, and these 5 teenagers were pulled out of the youth center, and they suddenly, their lives turned from something ordinary into extraordinary. So of course the human element is always needed. And if you watch the superhero shows, I could give you a ton of them.
No, thank you. Yeah, I watch a lot. I love them. I was thinking like,
Am I
I
making
guess
sense?
it would be like the pacing. Yeah,
I
totally.
think
You need the human element. It's essential. If you take it out, then you're missing a whole bunch.
But I think it could be developed more, actually. Mostly the kids is where I would probably.
Can you guys elaborate on that? And
Yes, may I? Like, you should show the balance between them being like, I don't know, with their powers, and the balance between their powers and their human lives, because that's what other superhero shows have done, kind of things. And trying to deal with this other external force, trying to get the kid's blood, and then trying to deal with that struggle, and also the struggle of being a kid.
Oh,
I think like a super quick one would be like carrying the tension through, right? Because when there's no tension, there's really nothing going on, right? In the storyline. And so like there's a couple of times where like when they're running down, and Paulie has led the bullies to them, right? And then they see the wall, like cut there, right? Go back to the hospital scene, because then everybody's sitting there like, oh my God, the bullies are running up. What's going to happen? Oh my God, what are they going to get beat up? Right. And then you're cutting. So you're leaving tension still in there. You haven't resolved that scene. Boom. Then you're building tension, layering tension over it with the doctor scene. Right. And then you're kind of pull back. And so then like leave the doctor scene with a little bit of a nuanced end, and then cut back, right? So that there's always some level of tension going. That's,
I like that.
thank you guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
like that.
don't know if you guys want me to answer any of the other questions that you guys brought up. And the thing, like, when I was younger, I would climb on every single building. Like, I've climbed every single one of my schools. And one, I was about that age, we were trying to film our own little short film, and I was on top of a rooftop, and I jumped from building to building. It was a smaller gap. It wasn't a big gap. It's like from school rooftop to school rooftop. So I guess I'm pulling some of that from there, but nothing like these kids are doing, not like pro level parkour. But yeah, and there are certain times we did stuff like that. My parents were pretty strict and on us. Like you go to sleep at someone else's house, they call and they make sure that's gonna happen and stuff. But no, there's days like I know, like one day, I mean they have jobs and stuff too, but we like rollerbladed all the way to the beach, like 20 miles. And then we came back. It like took us an hour and a half to get there, 8 hours to get back, and then came back in time for Family Time Simpsons, and they had no clue and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I guess kids do sometimes things during the day that parents don't know about.
Sure.
Yeah.
One thought I had on your pacing question.
Yes.
You kind of a lot of what the kids are up to keeps turning into like bully fights. Like it's just like I think there's maybe 3 or 4 times the bullies are fighting them, and like that's a lot of like the same battle happening in one episode. So maybe something else, change one of those bully fights into some other tension building thing. I guess you've got the fall, so that's a tension building thing on the kids' side that isn't a fight, but
yeah, it could be like
I'm not sure what
class
else, but,
assignments.
Good point. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
There's a lot in that though, man. I mean,
That maybe,
sure.
I don't know. Oh, sorry.
that's all.
Okay,
There's a
yeah.
lot in that,
Is there potential to go into the bullies' stories yet to show?
I mean, it depends on a single episode how much you guys think we want to or should, or if things go faster. Like we got a little glimpse into Joey's life at the end, the way his mom is.
Yeah, I really liked that. It would have been nice to maybe in breaking up the fights, if we got to see a bit of that, could be good.
All right, cool. Thank you. And I want to say on yours, Angelina, I really liked the visuals of the, you know what I mean? I could picture a lot of the psychedelic, as has been said, scenes.
That she turned into a mushroom.
Yeah, I thought that was a cute. I love that was recurring. I love that. I don't know, just mushroom girl or whatever like that. That was great.
Yeah, I don't know if okay, Clint, you said that's not how yours went. So do people?
No, but I mean it's a psychedelic. Like there are very few shows that have actually like really done a great rendition of what the actual drug experience feels like. Now, they do a great job of showing an alternate space or reality, but especially like something like hallucinogens. I mean, it's a deep personal journey, although hands down my favorite is definitely from Tenacious D. When he's swimming down the little river. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
You'll have to share a link to that in like the comments.
Yeah, if you could.
Oh, you guys haven't seen Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny? Dude.
Oh.
Remember when he's like floating down the river and then it like pans to real life and he's like in this like crazy raging river like about to drown and he's like, yay, dude. It's so awesome.
My favorite psychedelic scene was from that 70s show, and where the sun is high and his parents are talking to him and they have the flowers on the wallpaper behind and the wallpaper's moving.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to research that more, but not.
Yeah. Do it.
Not that way. I'm not gonna be okay, kids. This document, mama eating mushrooms. No. Though I'll say this. So I used to always get cast as an alcoholic for some reason, and I never drank. But so I was cast as this alcoholic, and I was on a trip with my kids to an all-inclusive Mexican resort. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this. I went out to the bar. My kids were asleep. They were all good and they were safe. I had my script with me and I drank and I read through my script and I drank and I read through my script and I made notes. And it started off like, okay, I can feel a little bit woozy here and blah, 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 blah. At the end, I'm like, I love everybody. Everyone's so beautiful. Look at this place. I can't believe I'm here. Like, I have to remember this for the rest of my life. It's just so ridiculous. So I don't know if that worked or not.
Could have been worse. You could have recorded yourself as you were doing it.
Yeah, I don't think I even had any. Thank goodness.
Yeah, my friends, I filmed some like 24-hour film contest thing or something, and the actors, again, this is what happens when you don't pay actors. You should pay actors, but we weren't paying them. It was just a thing everybody's helping out for. They didn't show up. It was on the weekend. I guess they had something more fun to do, better to do. So like my friend called favors in from friends that aren't actors, and they came in, and to loosen them up to get ready, like they did have a couple drinks, and then I guess one of them like was still keep drinking throughout, and so they were pretty whatever. But I didn't notice it too much. I didn't think it was too bad. But the cameraman we brought in, like he was like, I'm never working with that again. Like you guys are good, but never again. But I think it turned out. So warning for some actors out there, maybe don't try and take too much before performances. I don't know. I guess I won't say what your guys' approach is or not, but yeah. Actors, what do you guys say on that? Ones that specialize more in that.
I wouldn't on set ever, but no, that was just, I don't know, it was an experiment.
Yeah.
As I was
It depends
rehearsing.
on how long the scene is, man. Like if you got to be drunk on a scene and it's going to take you 10 hours to shoot that, like that's a long time to keep that optimum buzz level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still though, I mean, they have coaches for everything in acting, so I'm sure there's a coach out there that can train you, you know.
I
I
literally
didn't bring that
would
up as a criticism, but it came up.
What about you, Morgan? What do you think? What do you say?
I would never do it on set because I like to be too in control of my characters. And so I feel like it would lessen my performance. Like I wouldn't be as in control of what I'm doing and what I would like to do in order to bring the character to life.
Yeah. There's a reason why a person becomes what do they call if you're driving and drinking, you drinking and driving, no, you don't drive better. There's a reason you're not allowed to do that. So if you think you're better,
There's a reason you smash your vehicle up when you drink and drive. And I'm not really going to get in deep into this discussion. But I personally couldn't. I personally couldn't drink on a set because it would distract me from the focus that I have while I'm on the set, which is to play a character.
Yeah. And you guys are actors. You can bring that without that amount of
I really need to be in my mind so I can summon the appropriate emotions, memorize the appropriate lines, and really just be present.
I had an acting teacher that once said, the best way that you can play drunk is to try and not be drunk.
Right.
Yeah, that's accurate.
That's like the best way to, it goes for crying as well. If it's an emotional scene, you want to cry, don't try to cry. Unless it's a manipulation scene where you are manipulating the scene or being a manipulative character trying to cry. But yeah, otherwise, no, people don't really want to cry in front of others usually. So it's like holding back the tears, not letting them go usually. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't really talk too much about Don's.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I was going to mention that at the end, like, since he's not here to have the conversation, I mean, we can talk about it more. But I was going to end with you guys, like, what other questions, like, we might have to have a separate interview with him. Like, what other questions do you guys have for him other than the ones we've mentioned in the F?
I don't know. Like, I think it was a decent script. I think we had a lovely night. I think this was fun.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we should someday get together and actually shoot a film, a Table Read Tuesday's original film.
That would be awesome.
Someone asked me that once. They said, do you guys, well, I misunderstood. I thought he was saying, do you guys write scripts together and then read them? I was like, no, we're really different. Like, I don't know that we could get a script together because we are all very unique.
I mean, Angelina, there's plenty of us in Alberta. I don't know why we don't do that and maybe kidnap Jacob to come and film it. Like, Jason, you could get in on this party too.
I could.
Jordan's in, make a trip up there, get the Canadian grants, and
Yeah.
What's funny is it's gonna be like the next Star Wars franchise gets started, and this was the original recording of that transpiring. That's funny, man.
And it
Well, I mean,
debates from
Alberta has some of the most
Yeah.
Alberta has some of the most beautiful scenery for a film, and it could be used.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
have a lot of pictures of it on my Instagram.
good idea.
Angel
Sally.
CDP.
What was that again? I didn't hear that tag.
Yeah. Oh.
No, I'm saying your Instagram handle for people to go look at these
Angel
beautiful pictures.
CDP. My
CDP.
initials.
I
Yeah.
mean, maybe
There's some
maybe we
beautiful-
should talk about it, the Alberta actors, and invite whoever wants to fly up to Alberta to join us.
Well, if we all work on a script or we pick a script that everyone says, yeah, we love that, we all want to be a part of that, then yeah, we'll definitely talk more, see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
So in 3 months, I know you're going to submit a script, Heather. What about you, Morgan and Jason? Just kidding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Clint.
I'll do something up for the next time we do this. Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, that would be good. I actually do have something that I've been doing or helping out with. So camps, Central Alberta Media Productions. I am their secretary for the moment, interim secretary. We've just started, and one of the, I don't want to mess it up, but I'm like the idea is bringing people together so that Central Alberta can be more of a film hub, I believe. What do you think there, Jacob or Jason?
Yeah,
You-
yeah, exactly. It's bringing people together to create film together, and not like a company, but like
Resources.
yeah, it's a
Database. Yeah.
resource group kind of a thing.
Is it just for the Central Albertans?
Well, it's focused around Central Alberta, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Anybody
it's
that make it to
pretty
the area.
focused because down in Lethbridge, I think they've got, isn't there like LIFE or something like that, or Lethbridge Independent Film something? I think there's something like that. And then Calgary has I can't remember what
There's
Calgary
Spava
is.
and
Edmonton
Edmonton,
has
that's all I
Spava. You know,
Yeah.
so each
I don't know what
there's these kind of organizations that are similar in different areas. So
Mhm.
Well,
And a
at
little
least I know that the bus comes to Red Deer.
oh
Yes.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, come on up and
Make
let's make
yourself
a thing.
film.
A bus to Central Alberta, I believe, would be 72 hours.
Oof.
Not really. It's more like
them,
it's
it
more
would
like
be.
4.
No, but for them,
Clint saying for where
way
he's at.
down San Diego.
Well, Clint, if you ever came our way, we'd give you Alberta hospitality. You know, there's a
Alright.
fair actually coming out. There's actually a very nice fair called Whoop Up Days coming up in August. All of you should come up and we should party.
Yeah, I probably won't take a
know how to
bus. I did a
party.
lot of buses in South America, and those, I think the longest I did was 36 hours.
Oh no.
Okay,
I-
if
I
you
would
get on
insist
that
on
bus,
flying.
you get on that bus with your journal and your paper. By the time you get over here, you're going to have a script ready for us to film.
But I am serious. It's a good way for us to meet. It's a good fair. It's going to be a lot of fun with rodeos and lots of cool food. And it's in Lethbridge.
Sweet.
It's sweet. Like you said, all the beautiful areas. But all right, you guys, anything else before we wrap up? You guys
I
wanna-
can't think of anything.
Good.
All right. I want to say thank you all for reading our scripts
Yeah, thank you guys.
and all the
You
feedback.
guys are precious and beloved, and don't ever criticize yourselves on these channels again.
You
Ditto.
too. You too. All of us. Yeah. Everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, guys.
Good night.
See ya.
Night, night, everyone.
Bye.